Yes, welcome back to 12th Man. Race for Europe is back in the house. Big up to everyone that is here, that is live in the chat, and of course on catch up. Make sure you are following us on all audio platforms as well. We have got all of our panel shows and all of the content from 12th Man on audio platforms now, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever it is that you listen across the world. So go and show some love to our audio listeners. If you don't want to sit there on YouTube, then that is a good way to do it as well. Welcome to Deji, who's just jumped on as well. I'm going to put you on mute, Dej, because there's a bit of background noise, but big up to you for jumping on. We got Charlie in the house, Billy in the house, Wolfie here, Errol, Pete, and Deji. LB will be here very, very soon as well. And look, I'll be real with you. There's a lot to talk about. We are going to talk about Arsenal and Villa. We are going to talk about the title race and what it might mean for Aston Villa. We are going to talk about Unai Emery. We're definitely going to touch on City only being 2 points off of Arsenal now. But we're going to start with Mo Salah. And I know Errol doesn't want to talk about it too long, but I've literally just watched Monday Night Football with Jamie Carragher. And I want to get people's thoughts because he's gone in on Mo Salah, to be fair. I kind of expected him to be honest. And I think Mo Salah even expected him to. And it was quite interesting, some of the things that he was saying. Before we do that, make sure you hit like and subscribe, and you're following every single one of these guys as well. And you're following OK Jerseys, who are tonight's sponsor. If you do want to get in quickly in time for Christmas, the code is 12MAN. You'll get 8% off. You can get any jersey with any name on the back as well. So go and show them some love because they've been very good to us. Jamie Carragher absolutely cooked Mo Salah. The chat are absolutely correct. And if I'm honest with you, I kind of feel like he deserves it. I don't always agree with Jamie Carragher, but I thought it was a madness. I'm not saying what he said was wrong, and I'm not saying what is going on at Chelsea, Liverpool is a madness at the moment, but I don't think he needed to say anything. It's really not helped things at Liverpool whatsoever. And it could be a bit of a bad end for who is probably, alongside Gerrard, as one of the biggest legends at the club in a long, long time, particularly in the Premier League. It's only right that I come to you first, Errol. I don't know if you've heard what Jamie Carragher said tonight. I don't know if you've listened to it, but he's basically just destroyed him, basically, and said, like, you know, it kind of felt like personal to me. Pete, I know you nodded your head to say that you heard it as well, saying he hasn't won anything with Egypt. So, you know, calm down. You know, you were nothing until you come to Liverpool. You're a Chelsea reject. And just went in on him. And it kind of felt a little bit like Jamie Carragher was hurt by him. And he said, I will come for Mo Salah because he's come for my club and he's threw my club under the bus. And he really did go in on him, Errol, to be fair. I don't know if you think that's harsh over the top or what you think, but I'd love to get your thoughts on the situation. And, you know, the result at the weekend wasn't really anything to do with Salah, to be fair, because obviously he wasn't a part of it. And he hasn't really been a part of it in the last few games. So I suppose I've got two questions. The first one is your thoughts on the comments and the situation of Mo Salah and your thoughts on Arne Slot dropping him in the last few games. Was it deserved? Do you think he could have done anything different for this to be prevented?
Okay. First things first, I care more about the football club than I do about any individual that plays for our football club, and that goes for managers as well, first and foremost. I think in terms of the comments, I don't know if it was on this show or a number of shows the other week, I said, look, I think it might have to get worse before it gets better. And this was one of the problems that I was alluding to. I think Arne Slot for a number of weeks has felt increasing amount of pressure that's been kind of put on him. Rightfully so. The performances and the results have not been good enough. So he's been getting that pressure, and the pressure turned to the point where a big decision needed to be made, and it was a trade-off. If I start to bench a couple of players that are underperforming now, will the rest of the team get a rocket up the arse? Will they feel inspired? Will that spur us on to try and turn this corner? Now, use Mohamed Salah as that person. I don't necessarily think that was the wrong thing to do because, look, Mohamed Salah's about to go off to the AFCON, so he was going to have a prolonged period without being able to select them anyway. So if you can start that adjustment and that transition beforehand, I don't necessarily think that's the wrong thing to do. But what has to happen at that point is you need to get the results. You need to turn those losses into wins. And because we haven't managed, I think if Arne Slot had won Leeds and won against Sunderland in the week, whether Salah comes out with those comments or not, the manager's 100% vindicated in his decision because Liverpool have just put an extra 6 points on the board. Liverpool are now getting back to winning ways. so Liverpool can do it without Mohamed Salah. What's been proven is the performances haven't been much better. Performances have been on par or subpar. And he's still having to play players that have still been in this side that have also let the team down this season with their own individual performances, where his hand's been forced. He'd probably love to be in a world where he doesn't have to start Canate at this moment in time. But he hasn't got another reliable centre half that he can bring in to do the run of games that Canate's fitness allows him to do. He'd probably love to have somebody more versatile than McAllister in that midfield that he could rely on at this moment in time. Curtis Jones hasn't taken the opportunity and grabbed it. So there are a number of players that Salah's probably looking at thinking, hang on a minute, my form's been as bad, if not as bad as some of the others. Why is it me? I think Salah going to the AFCON made it a lot easier to, at least for the time being, say, do you know what? Actually, you can hold bench for a couple of games and let's see how Liverpool get on. In terms of the Salah comments now, Salah's protecting his own interests, and I understand why Salah's chosen to do that. I'm disappointed he's done that at the club's expense, however, because I think there would have been other ways that he could have done this. And again, he could have waited till AFCON. Who knows where Slot would have been come January? But in the event that Slot was to be sacked, he could have then come out post an AFCON game and said whatever he would have wanted to and looked like the hero for saying it, as well as, well, you can't blame me because I'm not in the club at this moment in time as well. I think the timing of it is particularly poor. I think it is selfish in nature. But this at this moment in time is a shit show, and Liverpool's turned itself into a circus. So I am genuinely gutted that I find our club in this situation at this moment in time. But in terms of what Carragher said, I've only seen quotes, and obviously I don't want to take things out of context too much, but he's got a point to an extent. But I also think Salah's got a point as well, and I think you can't just blame. It can't just be black and white where one or the other is blamed. There is a level of nuance, and there is a big grey area where Salah may have been promised certain conditions once he signed his new contract, and the club may have chose behind the scenes to go in a slightly different direction. And if that's the case, I don't think Salah can feel hard done by speaking his truth and telling people what he thinks and where he currently is at this moment in time. But at the end of the day, you play for Liverpool Football Club. You're not bigger than Liverpool Football Club, lad. Without Liverpool Football Club, yes, you went on to win everything, but you wouldn't be in that position without being at Liverpool Football Club. The Liverpool Football Club gave you the platform to become an absolute superstar. So I am devastated that this could be a very miserable end for someone, as you correctly said, is probably one of our biggest Premier League legends at the club. Certainly. So,
but do you think, just quickly, do you think it's he's gone or one of them has to go, Salah or Slot, or do you think that Salah now he's done?
I think Salah probably does want to move, and I think the only thing that Liverpool can really rely on is the fact that we'll get money for him now. If we was to make that deal and sell him to somewhere in Saudi, we'd get 60, 70, 80 million pound for him, which is just going to be cash money that Liverpool can then look to reinvest elsewhere. I think we all genuinely thought that we was going to have to start looking at life without Salah at some point. I don't think Salah included expected that to be November of the following season, when he's just put up a record-breaking season the season before, and he's just won the Premier League as part of a Liverpool team, and he's one of the senior players to do that. And to be fair, with Trent getting off, the club seemingly fought tooth and nail to make sure that him and Van Dijk stayed. So what's the point in doing that if you are then just going to cast him aside because his form has been on a downward spiral? In terms of Slot dropping him, I think it was the right call. I think out of all of them, it kind of signalled, if I can drop Salah, anybody can get it. And that's not to say that other people won't in coming weeks if he gets the chance to stick around and do that. But he started off with Salah, and I think it was the right thing, because at the time, if you're basing things on on merit, Salah didn't deserve to necessarily be starting every single game unequivocally in this Liverpool side at this moment in time. His performances have been subpar. And the last thing I'll say on it before the rest of the lads chip in, Salah last year, I came out and made comments in relation to, look, I've had conversations with the manager, and the manager understands what I want to do in this team, and I want to be able to score goals. So I've said to him, if you can absolve me of some of my defensive responsibilities, I will give you the goals and the output going the other way. And it worked by and large. It was a successful partnership that they struck up, and the team benefited from it, definitely. This season, however, if we can still say that Salah's defensive work has been restricted or been on the missing list and it's not been there in his game, We then have to look at what he's been doing in terms of his output. Now, a lot of you lads will turn around and say to me, yeah, but Salah's never really ran a game. He's never really been the one that pulls the strings. He's never done this, that, the other. But what's been undeniable is his goals or his assists, his numbers are up there with the best across Europe almost year in, year out. So you kind of let him get away with certain performances because he's going to deliver you a goal or an assist. This season, it's not been the case. So if you can't guarantee that you're going to work hard for your team defensively, I can't guarantee that I can rely on your goals anymore. Salah's no longer a net positive. This is Liverpool side. He's actually draining this team, and his absence of work rate is hindering our ability to manage and control games. So he's found himself in a lose-lose situation. I hope the fan base allow the dust to settle before we start making any real damning verdicts on Salah's future and all the rest of it. And if I'm being honest, I do think it's going to have to be one or the other. And at this moment in time, I don't know who I would rather stick by. It's my own answer.
What do we think as a panel? Salah gone, Slot gone? What are we saying?
I think they both need to go, to be honest. They both need to go. You can understand why the club have picked the side of the manager. You're always going to pick the manager and the club over a player, no matter what they've done. But I agree with her. I don't necessarily think Salah's wrong in what he's saying. But you can't come out and say that in public with the stature of the player that he is and expect nothing to happen about it. He's probably taken that opportunity after a bad result and he thought, right, I'm going to say this now. I'm going to try and get the manager sacked. And he's almost potentially given it one of them where he's like, right, it's me or it's the manager. And it, for whatever reason, I don't know what's going on with their relationship. He said there's no relationship with him anymore. I don't know what's happened there. But it feels like the timing of those comments from him are to very much make the club decide, right, it's either me or it's the manager. If you're backing the manager, I'm going to go in January. I'll get some money and I'll go to Saudi or whatever. Because you got to remember, when you're on that much money as well, that limits the places that you can go to. He
was always only ever going to go to Saudi, though. If he was going to leave Liverpool at this point, he was always ever going to go there. He'd be their poster boy. I think to your point, though, about him or the other, I think from a club's perspective, look, the club would have to fork out. Right, two things. Salah isn't going to put in a transfer request because he loses his loyalty bonus for a start. So he had to strong arm the club into a way where the club would then want to sell him and make it appealing to sell him. And then the other thing is the club would have to put their hand in their own pocket if they wanted to get rid of Arne Slot. If they choose to sell Mohamed Salah, the club are going to make money. So if it's going to be purely on a financial basis, the club are going to look at a certain thing and go, well, actually, if we get rid of him, we're going to actually make a little bit of money by letting him go out the door. And then we can, if we then need to, as Charlie suggests, we need to then sell the manager as well. Not sell the manager. If we need to fire the manager and get rid of him, all of a sudden you've got his sacking fee there because you've just sold Salah as well. So you end up killing two birds with one stone if you just sell Mohamed Salah as the ignition and the starting point for all of the whatever's going to unravel.
I get to sell Wolves, man. That is a clown show of a goal, man. What are they doing?
That's the worst goal I've seen.
What are they doing, man?
I get where he's coming from, though, in terms of like feeling like a scapegoat. Obviously, he's not been playing well, but I suppose from his perspective, he can like none of the players have been playing well. No one's been playing well, and he probably feels like he's been made an example of. But I suppose you can look at it both ways. I understand him feeling that way, and I get it. But then also, I suppose you can look at it from the manager using Salah as an example to send to the others. Whereas, look, Salah is being dropped. None of you lot are exempt from getting the same treatment. So you can see perhaps how he's tried to send a message that way. But you can also see why Salah would feel the way that he does feel. Because a lot of the talk was like, and I'll probably say that myself as well. A lot of the talk was like, oh, you know what? They've got to drop Salah. And, you know, Salah's not performing that well. You know, he's a negative on the team. He's been dropped. The team aren't worse, but the team is no better whether he's in it or not in it. And you can sort of feel that, like, well, you know what? I've not played. No other players haven't played as considerably better than me, and they're still getting picked every single week. I think I don't know. I understand where it's coming from, but you cannot come out and say that in public. You know, you just can't. So. But I think he was calculated with it. I think he was calculated with it. He viewed it as an opportunity because he's basically chucked a grenade and he knows he's not going to play Inter. He's got the game against Brighton and then he disappears to AFCON.
This is for me. This is longer than what we've seen in the last few games. Like, yes, he's been on the bench the last few games, but for me, I've seen this in Salah a lot longer than this. I'll be honest with you. I genuinely feel that Mo Salah, it feels like he's had his nose put out of place when Alexander Isak walked through the door, because I think they've signed Alexander Isak to be the next guy. It was even talked about. He was signed to be the one to carry on to be that guy when Salah leaves. I didn't think Salah took nicely to that, and I always remember. I think it was the Everton game where Isak and Salah on the pitch at the same time, and there was a ball on the right hand side. Salah cuts inside, and he's got just a nice easy pass into Isak for a tap in, and he takes a more difficult shot, and it doesn't go in. And Isak's arms are kind of up to him, right, passing to me, and he doesn't even look at him. He just walks off. And for me, at that moment, I was like, "There you go. There's your problem. Is that now Isak's being seen as the guy, but he still wants to be the guy, and there's your battle." And let's not forget, he had this with Sane. He had this with Sane, and one of them had to leave, and Sane left. Right? He's always had this issue of he wants to be the main guy, and I think his nose has been taken out of place with Isak coming in, and I don't think he likes it because everyone's talking about Isak, everyone's bigging up Isak, and I think what's happened, in my opinion, I could be wrong. What's happened is I think Slot has had to make a decision. Do I bench Isak and keep playing Salah because they can't play together? It's quite clear that they can't play together because their styles don't match. So it's either play Isak and the guy we've just signed and the guy that's going to be our future and bench Salah, or the other way around. And he's gone with Isak because Isak's been starting recent games up until the Leeds game. He's been starting games, and I think that's where it's been done for me with Salah. And Salah's just used the opportunity. And Carragher's right. He's been very calculated and Charlie, you touched on it as well. I think he's been very calculated in picking his moment. And I think he felt that Leeds was the perfect moment to say what he said. He did it with the contract. He's done it with other things before, right? He is very calculated. He doesn't really speak very much unless he's got something to say. And when he's got something to say, he says it because it benefits him. And at this point, if I was a Liverpool fan, I'd be saying, I think it's probably time you need to leave, because if he stays and you try and force a way in him staying at the club, it's only going to get worse. But I agree with Charlie to end my point. I think both of them need to leave because Slot is the reason why these performances have been so bad. He's the manager. He needs to front this up. He has been poor. He has been absolutely poor as a manager this season. And for all the good he did last season, he is literally washing that away with an absolute shit show of performances, which a lot of our panel are enjoying, by the way. But in reality, from a Liverpool perspective, it has been absolute dog shit. It's been one of the worst title reigns ever, in terms of challenging to regain your title again. It's been an absolute shit show. And he needs to hold the L on that. Yeah. Salah needs to hold the L on that because he hasn't been doing anywhere near the sort of levels he's proven at the club. And I think ultimately they both need to go. But this is not new. This is historic. This is going from earlier on in the season. Salah's had this in his mind for a long time. And I think that's probably why you're seeing so many bad performances from him.
I don't agree with that bit.
Can I ask one question real quick, Wolfie, to Errol? Just Errol, on the promises thingy, he's spoken about promises not being kept, bro. What do you reckon those promises are that he's on about?
I've heard that before.
Even if I'm shit, play me.
Well, yeah, to an extent. I think there's been
it will be about game. It will play me basically, whatever. I'm the star man.
Basically, yeah. Basically, we're still next 2 years. The side is going to still be geared up to get the best out of you. I think that's what he was expecting, and obviously the reality of that. And I think when Slot was one of the managers last year, when everything was going good, it was fine. Everybody seemed to be accommodated to an extent. Everybody was happy with the amount of game time that he was going to get. When things are a little bit more difficult, you have to make big decisions. And he's now in a position where he's like, I've got to try and get the best out of it, got to get the best out of Ekitike, and I've still got to accommodate Mohamed Salah. But ultimately, Slot said it the other day, Isak wasn't signed for 3 months. He's been signed for 6 years. Same with Wirtz. So the long-term future of those players is more important than just 2 years left of Mohamed Salah. I think where Salah kind of feels gutted is the fact that he's looking at a manager that has got credit in the bank because he's won us a Premier League, but in another club may have been axed with the poor run of form. Yet Salah feels he's put 7 years out of his 7 of his best years as a footballer into Liverpool Football Club, won everything, and he's only been afforded 2-3 months poor form before he feels he's been edged out of the team. So he's probably looked at that thinking, well, how's that fair for me to be edged out of the team? But the guy who's got us playing this shit is still getting the grace to keep his job, and he's only won as a Premier League. He turned up 12 months ago. I've been here. I've been in the trenches, I've been there through the highs and through the lows. Yeah, it's an absolute shit show. But the one thing that, again, he does himself no favours, and the one part of his statement that I thoroughly do not agree with is, I've been here for X amount of seasons. I've earned my right to start every game. Nah, mate, that's not how it works, lad. I'm sorry. That is not how it works. I don't care if you're Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't care if you're Messi. I am not asked. Liverpool Football Club should be looking at the best players in that squad through the weakest trade and thinking who can be in that 11 as the best chance to get us 3 points or into the next round or further into the Champions League as we need to be. That should be the bottom line. And you as a player got to look at yourself and think, have I been putting it in lately? Have I been living up to my high standards? And if the answer is no, you go back on the pitch and you try to fix it to get back to that level to prove people wrong and prove yourself right. And you keep your mouth shut and you just get on with your job. You're also getting paid a lot of money to be a fucking professional. So coming out and being on smoke like that, when the fans right now are already in a fucking meltdown and our heads are fucking left, right and centre, you've done us all dirty and you didn't need to. But yeah.
I'd just add, there's so much we could say about this, but he's just a bitch. I would have respected him if he'd come out and done this after you beat West Ham. If he did this after West Ham, then I'd say, okay, well done. Well done. You've got the balls to say it after that. Because if you had beaten Leeds, if it had finished 3-2, he ain't doing that interview. He's doing this on purpose to manufacture everything. And the entitlement that was spewing out of his dickhead mouth was ridiculous, man. Oh, I've earned this from last year. I've earned this from last year. I'd have more respect if he sat there and said, or stood there and said, do you know what? I know I haven't played well this season. At least start with that. Have that self-awareness that you've stunk the house out this season. And then talk about the way you've worked on the training ground to improve it and everything else. There was none of that. It was all me, because I've done this, because I've done that. I'm Mohamed Salah. Oh, everyone in the Middle East loves me. No, they don't, mate. And on he went. And the other thing is,
Wolfie, we can't say that round here because if you're not of that persuasion, you just get called a xenophobe.
Yeah, but I am from Libya, so I'm good.
I'm not but I'm just saying we can't say that round here. Scousers get labelled with that. Non-Liverpool or Liverpool fans that don't have that kind of background. As soon as you criticise Salah for anything, all of a sudden you're a xenophobe. All of a sudden, it's very clear that you're agenda driven because you spew this type of hatred and it's all dog whistles. And I'm like, come on, people, can't we criticize and call a spade without people getting defensive and start turning to identity politics and footy?
It's not. I'm one of him, if you like, and I just don't like what he said. I really don't. But Slot, on the other hand, has a responsibility in this as well. Now, I agree with him being dropped because Salah is the biggest outfield player name alongside Van Dijk, right? If he was to drop Gakpo, that's not making a statement like dropping Salah. Yes, Gakpo doesn't have that name that Salah does. So you cut the head of the snake off, you make a statement, you say, he's droppable, therefore the rest of you are droppable. It's more powerful to drop one player than, he can't drop all 11 of them. So it's more powerful to drop Salah and say to the rest of them, you're up next. He can be dropped, so can you. But what I didn't like, I don't know if you saw Slot's interview, they were showing it on the build-up to the game tonight, that he said, he's kind of walking it back a bit. He's like, they asked him, have you spoken to Salah since then? And he's like, no. Oh, yeah, I did. I told him you're not coming.
It's so cringe. It's cringe.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, but I answered it earlier. Because he said, no, I haven't. And he's like, oh, no, I answered it earlier. I told him he's not coming.
I think the club made that decision, not him.
I don't care. He's the manager. These are his players that they're not there to be liked or hated by him. He's their boss. But as a boss, he has responsibility towards them. If one of my staff called me out or whatever and did that, I can't just go around the workplace and ignore them for the rest of the time. I still have a responsibility to them. As the senior, I would be expected to go and sit down and at least have those discussions. Now, maybe those discussions have happened. Okay, maybe he's just keeping it in-house. But what he said basically says he hasn't. He said, no, I've spoken to him once and told him you're not coming. Basically, fuck off. And I think that's just not acceptable by Slot. He has to have the discussion. He has to ask him what the issue is. Even when he was talking about what the issue is, so you'd have to ask Mohamed Salah. Maybe I can guess it's because he's been dropped, but it could be something else. It's all these insinuations that are just not clear at all, and it doesn't make him look like a position of someone in authority there.
No.
So that's my issue.
But is he,
with what
wait a
said.
sec. Is he trying to? You want him to come out and basically be honest about what's going on?
No,
Or is that not gonna make the whole situation worse?
no, because LB, what I'm saying, he's gone halfway. Either he comes out and says this is an in-house matter, we're discussing it, and he will be disciplined accordingly, or he doesn't have to say, I just spoke to him once, I told him you're not coming. Like, is that it? Either tell us everything or tell us nothing.
Isn't it? Do you not accept though that he's in a very, very bad situation here, and there's no easy way for him to?
He's in a Slot's in a lose-lose. Like the club can find a way out and make a win for themselves. Salah can find a way out and make a win for himself. Slot's there in the middle of a rock and a hard place. And if he was to turn around, to your point, Wolfie, if he was to turn around to say, I've spoken to Salah, we've aired it out, we've had a conversation, we've had some sort of meeting, and he's going to be with us on Tuesday in Inter. He looks weak. And if Slot's hanging on for dear life in his job, the last thing he needs right now is to undermine his own position.
Also,
no, why does he?
Also,
I'm not
Errol,
saying
that
he needs
might
to
not
say
have
that,
happened
Errol.
behind the scenes. So then Salah could just come on Twitter and be like, "Yo, the manager's chatting shit." You know what I'm saying?
No. All I'm saying is either he has to say everything or say nothing. If Slot had come out today and said, this is an in-house matter, we're dealing it with in-house, and we will sort it out internally, like, are we going to be sitting here nitpicking exactly what Slot said? No. That's like standard thing. When Nuno beefed up with Edu and Marinakis, I didn't see Marinakis or Edu calling a press conference afterwards to tell them what they had or hadn't discussed with Nuno. Nuno got sacked. Like, actions will speak louder than media press as well, right? So he just got it. Slot should have kept it in-house. I think that would have been the easiest thing for him. You are right, he's in a lose-lose situation, but his best position is to show a bit of authority, say that we are dealing with this in-house. We don't need to air things out publicly. And no further comment on it. All he's doing is adding fuel to the fire. That's the problem with what he
But
said.
at the same time, yeah, like, so I've got one of his quotes here. Yeah, he says, "Usually I am calm and polite, but it does not mean I am weak. When a player says things like that, we have to react as a club, and you can see he is not here, right? So is he not going the whole way there?
That's dealt with it, yeah.
You said he's not going the whole way, but to me that reads like he's gone the whole way. He's basically saying he's toast, bro.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the breakdown of the conversations, LB. He said, yeah, I've spoken to him once. And then he tracked back on it and said, I haven't spoken to him. And it's like, oh, wait, I said earlier I'd spoken to him to tell him he's not going. It's just like, it came across. Have you seen it, LB?
No, I've only seen the quote.
Yeah, he just came across like he's backtracking on himself. He just didn't look
weird,
authoritative.
man. It's weird, bro. It's like, yeah, I've not spoken to him. Well, yeah, I have. I did it in training. I told him we weren't traveling. Well, you'll have to have a chat with him and see what he thinks about that. I can have a guess, but I'm not sure. I was just like, stop talking. Just stop talking, man. It's embarrassing. Like, it's cringeworthy.
You need to
listening
watch it,
to
LB. It was
it was not good, man. It's not good. But look, I mean, I want to move from Liverpool very quickly. They were poor again. I thought defensively it was a shambles. Van Dijk's delegating again, and Kanate has turned into Jimmy Traore.
Kanate, mate. What is he doing?
Oh, dear me.
Hey, Jimmy Traore's won a Champions League. Have some respect. I will not hear that from you.
That goal against Burnley, it's just the best own goal ever.
Can I just ask one quick question about the manager, right? You know, Xabi Alonso, I mean, if LB's boys beat Madrid in the midweek, they're saying that could be the last game for Xabi Alonso. Do you think, Errol, potentially that Liverpool might be waiting to see what happens with Xabi Alonso before acting on Slot?
Honestly, I don't think we have a clue right now. Genuinely, I think we're in a point of we're winging it game by game. I think Slot's going game by game. I think the players don't know where they stand. I don't know what we're going to do transfer wise. And in terms of the manager, it's come at the worst possible time, because if you was to get rid of him now, or if you was to keep him post-January, do you have to then buy players for him? If you're buying players for him, are they going to be the players that you want for the next manager? Where we are in the worst possible period to have all of this shit.
I think he has to go though, Errol, because I saw the breakdown by Jamie Carragher of how you were defending, and it was just like these guys literally don't seem to know what they're doing under this manager now. And these are quality players. Like, they don't just become shit overnight. Like, there's none of them that are looking, other than maybe Szoboszlai this season, looking anywhere near good enough to play for in the Premier League, let alone for Liverpool. Some of them, it's just a shambles. What I'm seeing.
He's the only one that's taken this challenge. He's the only one that's taken the challenge of supposedly better players coming to the club this summer.
Can I just say something? Yeah, here, right? On Slot, yeah. And I think the guy has fucked up a little bit this year. However, I actually think that, like, when you actually deep what's going on, yeah, he's got Alisson, who could be his very last year at the football club. He's got Kanate, who's trying to run down his contract because he wanted to go to Real Madrid. He's got Van Dijk, who's fallen off a cliff, and he might be going at the end of the year. He's got this Salah situation to deal with. He bought a left back who can't defend. He's got this young right back in Conor Bradley, who's probably shouldn't be starting. Yeah, McAllister started the season absolutely dog shit. Yeah, he's got Gakpo who can't hit a barn door. Isak, who's got one goal in the Prem. And £116 million Florian Wirtz, who's still yet to register a GNA. So, yes, like, I get that Slot could do better. But these players, mate, yeah, these players, the performance levels from some of these players is disgraceful. Yeah, Kanate needs to be dropped from that foot. I won't even take him to my lad, mate.
On the manager, though. No, but I've said on the manager, though. The manager ain't making the decision on playing these players. Sorry.
Yeah, but no, the thing with Kanate is, though, lads, and I've said it all season, if Slot wanted to go with a 3 at the back and Gahey was so integral to that system being able to work for a sustained period, don't make him the last player through the door in the summer. Put your pride aside. Yeah. Exactly. If you're going to build the system around such an integral player, you build out and make sure you've got that into the rest of the system can then come to fruition. What happened last season? Kwanzaa was starting. Jurgen Klopp said, Kanate dropped off a cliff. I'm going to use Kwanzaa. There's something in it. Slot ran with it and thought, okay, pre-season, I'll see that. Let me see what that can do. First 45 minutes, went, not really fancying Kwanzaa. Let me bring Konate in. Konate knew from day dot last season he was on notice. If I drop below the level, there's another young lad there waiting to come and take my place. This season, it's not been there. So Konate knows in the back of his mind, whether I play an 8 out of 10 or a 4 out of 10, the manager's still got to play me next week. My place is safe. So that's the people above Slot.
Gomez that shit. Is Gomez that shit? Is Gomez that shit that you can put Gomez in?
So here's the ultimate problem, and this is a problem with the number of players that we've got as part of the squad. He's not comfortable using players that he does not believe can do 3 games in a week. And I don't just say that lightly. I say that based on evidence because we haven't seen it with Chiesa yet. He's not chose to start Chiesa in more than 2 games at a time. And Joe Gomez, we've known for a number of years, he is not robust enough to then be able to play 2 or 3 games in a week. He will break down at some point. And the big telling factor with that is we've seen with him in the past that he still comes on and he can still produce a little bit of quality. But once Leone goes down and he does his ACL and he's out for the season, you've only got 1 backup centre-half then. What you're using Joe Gomez for is an auxiliary centre-half. In the worst case that Konate or Virgil van Dijk pick up an injury for a number of weeks, we'll use Gomez as a stopgap until we find another solution internally within the squad to help us get through however long we're going to be without one of our senior ones.
Konate is playing worse than an injured centre-back, bro.
And he might be. And I agree.
Is Gomez fit? Gomez is fit, isn't he?
He's having to take injections.
Don't play him. He can't do worse than Konate. He cannot. It's physically impossible to play worse than Konate right now. Like, that's such a simple fix. Just do it.
Rob Holding is available free.
Wolfie, you get him. So, again, this is the problem. You get Joe Gomez and he plays better than Konate for 2 games and then he breaks down and you haven't got him. You're back to square one.
So what? Your current square one is Konate is going to do some bozo thing pretty much game in, game out.
Facts.
I'd rather play Gomez for 2 games.
You everything settles down. Not playing Gomez because he might get injured.
Exactly. I might not get work tomorrow because I might get run over by a car.
That's what they're doing, and that's what we've been doing.
Errol, can I ask you a question?
Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves goal.
Wolves goal.
That's the first goal they scored under Rob Edwards.
In injury time. In injury time.
Yes, go on, Deji, my bro. Go on, Deji.
Oh, get that United done. Get that United done.
Look, I hope you guys can hear me, and apologies. And I've been listening to this. Big up to you guys in the location.
Last point on this, and move from Liverpool. But go on, Dave.
Errol, look, from an outsider looking in, I'll just say again, I told you so, that this guy Slot is a fraudster. All of this bollocks about the players that LB saying, if you're legit, if you can motivate them in season 1, you can motivate them in season 2. Errol, I think the bit that was missing in your presentation is the fact that Liverpool forgot themselves, bro. You forgot about what brought you success. What brought you success was buying quality players one at a time. You spend an 80 mil on a Van Dijk, you leave it there, and you slowly build your squad. All of a sudden, you guys thought, after winning one of the dustiest Premier Leagues I've ever seen in my life, that you guys became Galacticos overnight. And that's your problem. Slot was never the guy that was going to be able to carry these type of players. The sooner you get rid of Slot, the sooner you will have your club, Liverpool, back. And the whole thing with Salah, we've known Salah to be a diva. He did it with Klopp when he was on the bench and would come on late. It's just diva-ish activity. But what I will say, though, is the leagues are now handing power to players. You have Salah, you had it with Ronaldo, you had it with Isak. As soon as a player kicks up a fuss and puts it on Twitter, they will eventually win. And so Salah is going to win this. And that's just a thing that we need to talk about on another show.
Was there a question in there?
You
was like, I've got a question for Errol, and then just hit me with some facts and shit.
He had a statement for Errol. That's what.
Okay.
Just a statement.
Yeah.
Can I give you an extra
Told you
The last
so.
time Wolves scored a goal in the Premier League was the 26th of October.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Nah,
I mean,
big
it's
up Deji, man. Carl. You're spot on.
Nah, look, man, let's move from Liverpool. I personally feel like Slot's going to have to go. I just don't see how these players pick themselves up from this. I think as much as LB's absolutely right to name the players that have been pathetic in parts, I think the manager's got to take a hold. There can't be 9 players underperforming and the manager be still right. Like, that can't happen in my opinion. So I think that it probably will be, if Real Madrid continue, they're ruthless. They'll get rid of Xabi Alonso, and I think Liverpool will snap somebody like that up, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's go to Aston Villa Arsenal. Billy, you were there. How hungover were you, Bill, by the way? Was you actually all right?
I wasn't actually too bad, to be fair.
Okay,
But
cool.
yeah, Emi Buendia is the reason for my voice, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, look, I thought you deserved the win. I was quite vocal, and I've spoken about Arsenal for about 48 hours. So I'll let you go first on what you thought, man, and I'll let the guys come in. What are you saying, bruv?
I thought we were fantastic. I really did. I thought we bossed the first half. You came out, got your goal, I think, for the first 10, 15 minutes of the second half. You were probably the better team. And then we grew into the game again, and I think we got the goal that we deserved at the end. What I will say, all the excuses and things like that I'm hearing from Arsenal fans about all the injuries and things like that, you're also 1 minute away from a draw at Villa Park, which I think a lot of Arsenal fans probably would have taken before the game as well. You know, so yeah, you were unlucky to concede that goal last minute, but it's still not the end of the world. Had that Villa goal not have got in, I think a lot of Arsenal fans would probably be going, you know what, a draw at Villa Park's not too bad. Squad depth is still decent. I don't think if that goal had gone in, the overreaction from the Arsenal fans would be happening. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad that it is. It's hilarious. I'm loving every second of it. But yeah, I think Villa need a little bit more respect as well on our names, because we absolutely bossed Arsenal off the park.
Billy, any chance I can borrow Unai Emery for a couple of months?
Absolutely not. Absolutely
Bill,
not.
don't start calling for more respect, because I've done that the other week and then we fucking haven't won a game.
He does. I think he does. I think Emery deserves respect, though, because there's a lot of people that said he might get sacked. They can't score a goal. They're the only team in the 92. 4 games without a goal is disgraceful. But actually, I think there's been a lot that people have overlooked with Aston Villa. I had them come in sort of easily in Europe this kind of season. And then I changed it a little bit and thought, maybe they're going to come like scrape 7th when they were like really struggling. And I'm quite annoyed that I did that, because I know what Unai Emery is about. And I know that he wasn't great with Arsenal in terms of and PSG. But actually, for As a club like Aston Villa, I think he's perfect. And I do think that Aston Villa have also been overlooked. Newcastle get bigged up for their amazing midfield, as do Chelsea. Aston Villa have got an unbelievable midfield, by the way. And the strength in depth is ridiculous. Like, they brought on Boubacar Kamara, they brought on Buendia. They've obviously got Morgan Rogers. I thought Tielemans was my player of the match. I thought he was outstanding. And I think, and John McGinn, no one really talks about him. He's quite underrated, underappreciated, overshadowed. I thought Villa were really good, and they bossed Rice and Zubimendi, who looked like they were running on fumes. Obviously, Odegaard and Eze were trying to have a battle of who could be the worst, and somehow Odegaard got player of the match, which was quite embarrassing, really.
Martin Keown for you, isn't it?
That's just embarrassing, really. I thought he was really poor in the first half, Odegaard. Eze was just invisible. But Martin Keown giving him man of the match was actually laughable at the end. Like, if he was going to give it, I mean, I know it was 1-1 when he gave the player of the match, right? So, it's not that shocking that he's giving it to an Arsenal player. But it was 1-1. But at the end of the day, there was actual there was hardly anybody in an Arsenal shirt you could have given it to. There was about 4 you could have given it to at the Aston Villa team. It's just embarrassing, to be fair, from his side. But I got to be real, I didn't think we were great. I know we had chances. I didn't think Saka was outstanding. He's probably one of the better of the bad bunch. Trossard, I think, did make the difference when he came on. I actually picked up Arteta for a couple of minutes at least. But other than that, I don't know what we're doing at the end there, man. Nkapie's just got to clear the ball. He takes it out for a bloody throw-in. And then it gives you a chance to come back and win the game. But I do think you probably had the better chances of the game. I do think you did. I think Raya made some good saves. Martinez did make some saves as well, but I thought Raya made more of the clear-cut chances. And I think you might need a new striker, Bill, because Watkins has got to put them away, bruv. Like, real talk, Watkins should have buried us, really, if I'm honest.
He should have done, but at the same time, this is Watkins at the end of the day. He's never been a clinical finisher.
I know you got to go. Big up, Errol. Sorry,
Take care, bro.
Take care, brother.
Watkins has never been a clinical finisher. That's always been my biggest criticism of him. But the problem we find ourselves in now is that it's a problem that we're going to have to think about very soon with the age that Watkins is at. And certainly with some of the performances that he's put up this season, because obviously he's not been doing very well in front of goal until the Brighton game the other day. But our biggest problem is now, who do we get to replace him? Because we're not in a position financially where we can go out and spend 60, 70 million on a replacement for him. So I think it's a case of trying to find that.
Would you have sold him to Arsenal last Jan, Bill?
No, not last January. I wouldn't. Not last January, because Duran was already out the door as well. And that's just leaving ourselves far too short if we had any aspiration of going for the Champions League at all. And we very nearly got there. So I wouldn't have sold him last Jan. In the summer, the first few weeks of the summer, I would have genuinely considered it. But as the time went on in the summer, you saw how Newcastle struggled to get a striker in. With every passing day in that summer transfer window, it was more and more crucial that he stayed. And I think we're at a position now where there's certainly upgrades out there for Watkins. But we need to find who that guy is and bring him in and make sure that he works just as hard as Watkins off the ball. But when he does get those chances on the ball, that he can also take them. And I don't think those players come around very frequently. And if they do, they're normally not Aston Villa players, let's put it that way. So hopefully we can find him, build him up, and then maybe in a few years sell him if we have to. But yeah, who knows? We might be at a level of football club where we can keep players like that then.
Bill, do you think you're benefiting from like not making that many signings in the summer, in terms of like the group is largely the same, tight-knit group, pretty much like similar to maybe like Liverpool last season, where not many players come in? It was kind of the same group. They know the role, and that they know exactly what Unai Emery is asking. It's kind of like it's plug and play. Whatever players are playing, the system still seems to work, and the team still seems to function. Do you think you're benefiting massively from that?
I wouldn't say massively, but yeah, I think there's definitely a benefit to it. You look at the team that Unai had when he first came in, and the team that he's got now. It's largely the same, and that's been 3 years or so. And a lot of the players that are playing now still aren't really Unai Emery signings. You go through that full lineup, and you've got Dean Smith with Martinez, Dean Smith, Matty Cash, Dean Smith, Ezri Konza, Pau Torres was obviously an Unai Emery signing. Maatson was an Emery signing, but Luca Dean, who was a Steven Gerrard signing, has been playing. You can go through more or less the whole squad, and you've got 1 or 2 Unai Emery signings in there. I think. So yeah, I think. My bad. Overall, these players know what Unai Emery wants of them. And when the going gets tough, like it does at the beginning of the season, you just double down on the work that you've got to do. And if it's still not going well, you triple down and you keep on working and you keep on working until it does. And look where we are now. 9 wins out of the last 10 games. We've not done that since 1919. So we're breaking 100-year records at the minute. And yeah, I just hope this can continue as long as it can.
We will get on to Arsenal, but I do think you deserve your credit. For me, I want to know where Villa are going to be and what they're going to have a chance of doing in March, April, not in November, December.
Yeah.
And I think that's a genuine question because like the first few seasons was like, first few games was like, well, Villa ain't doing nothing. And then Deji, and I mean, he is going to come back on. He's struggling, I think, but he was writing you off and all sorts, right? So when you've got the scenario, relegation, you'll be going all this kind of stuff, right? So I don't know what the panel think, and maybe we can open up to that as well. But where do we see Villa come sort of March, April? I think that's a genuine question. Title race. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Villa are brilliant. They've been brilliant
at the moment
come through the door.
Yeah, I don't think we're in a title race myself.
Billy.
Don't do this.
Firstly, I love you, but
don't do this.
Don't allow this. Don't let this guy force you into saying shit.
I'm not forcing Billy into anything. I got too much respect for his club. Unfortunately, I got zero respect for you tonight, Billy, because you sound like Dyche and it's pissing me off, bro. But I love you still, right? But Villa have been consistently at a level for the last couple of years. There's been no drop off. Some of you, I think Charlie was saying, oh, do they look like a tightly knit team? They didn't have signings. They lost players this summer. They weren't able to spend because of PSR. They had to sell half their women's football team or whatever percentage it was. This was not a club that was enacting their transfer strategy this summer. And yes, they started off slow. But Emery, who, by the way, I think has put to bed the argument that he is a better manager than Arteta, is absolutely cooking for them. So if Villa have been able to do this for a sustained period now for a couple of seasons, why can't they go and kick on? Now that he's playing Morgan Rogers back in his correct position after those brain farts at the end of last season when he was trying to shoehorn Rashford in and Asensio, you're seeing Rogers playing how he should. Matty Cash, what a player. He comes, from good background, I would say. He's absolutely flying. These Villa fans, by the way, wanted him out in the summer. And look at him now. Probably the best right back in the league.
Billy wanted him out.
Really wanted him out.
I'll be the first to hold my hand up and admit that.
So why is it a foregone conclusion that they can't win the league? Forest went deep last year into a title race, whether Charlie wants to say it or not, and we had no squad, and then we fell away. Let me finish. We were in a title race longer than Arsenal were, all right? But the whole point here is Villa's squad is better than that. And you've all sat here, Deji has sat here and said the league is crap. If the league is crap, then a good team can go on and win it. And I'd love to see Villa win it. They can win it. Tell me one reason why they can't win it.
Because they're not good enough over the course of the season.
We can win it if we are able to maintain these levels of performances for the rest of the season.
And you can.
Where's the evidence of that? Where's the evidence of that?
Exactly. That's what
9 wins out of 10. There's your evidence.
Your evidence of Aston Villa being able to maintain a good form over a 38-game season is 9 wins out of 10 games in one season. That's your evidence.
That's over a quarter of the season, and they've won 9 out of 10. They don't even need to stay at that level to do it.
Bro, they're not gonna. They're gonna finish in a Champions League place.
See, again, this is the arrogance of the cartel. People were saying this about Leicester. People were saying this about Leicester post Christmas, and Leicester went on to win it. It is not an impossibility that a team outside your beloved Cartel 6 can go on and win it. It's happened very recently.
They also didn't have Europe, Wolfie. Yeah, so they would play one game a week. Yeah, whereas Villa, I've got European football, right? And now when the season gets real, so I'm looking at their fixtures coming
So
up
have
now.
Arsenal.
Yeah, I'm looking at
December's
their
a tough
fixtures
month.
coming up, man, and their fixtures now that they've got European football and the fixtures coming up. The next 10, 12 games are tough, and I'm not going to try to take anything away, but I'm sure Billy will accept this.
Mhm.
They've had a few tough games in there, but they've also had quite a lot of fucking easy ones. Yeah, so I
Right,
think
LB, let me
in
ask
this
you this,
next
though.
month or so, they'll probably end up dropping some points. I think top 5.
Let me ask you
should be
this,
the aim.
LB. Is there a single team in the Premier League when they see Villa on the fixture list don't go, oh shit, we got Villa right now? Is there a single team? They're building a fear factor about them.
Do you know where we do that about as well? I do it about Palace. Can they win the league?
Well, you might do it about Palace. You probably do it about Spurs as well, but not everyone does.
When I see Palace, I'm like, shit, that's a tough game.
Mhm.
I don't think
Yeah,
they can
but
win. The
all
league.
right, would you
There's
rather
fucking loads
face
of teams.
Palace or
Sunderland? I
Wales?
saw Sunderland come in. Yeah, do whatever. I thought, shit, these are a good side. I don't think they're going to win the league.
Okay, but who would you rather face, Palace or Villa?
That's a different question, though.
I mean, it's by the by, probably Palace, but it's still fucking difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, okay. I'm not saying any game is easy, but right now, Villa, how about this? They're the most informed team across the whole of Europe.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, right now at the start of
Listen,
December.
but we're not talking about small sample. We're talking the length of a quarter of a season, man.
Bro, we're talking about
10 games is a lot of games.
10 games.
Wolfie, there's a long way to go, and I can understand why, like Billy's like not having as big a chest as what people probably would have expected him to. Between now and January, there's a hell of a lot of football to be played. There are a lot of matches for all of us that are in European football. We're going to be playing a hell of a lot of matches. Like Billy's lost a couple of key players, like to Rashford, Asensio, that beefed up their squad. And we've just talked about it. All it takes is a Watkin injury or a Konza injury, and they're in difficulty. All
it takes is a Saliba and a Gabriel injury. We saw that.
And that's exactly what's happened. And look where Arsenal were. Arsenal were kind of like thin on the ground in centre back positions because of that reason. This is the point that I'm making. Is that all it takes is for one or two of those things to happen. They'd already lost Martinez. He came back at the weekend. But if they lost him for a sustained period of time, it can happen. And with the amount of games that you're playing, it's going to be difficult. However, what I will say is, in positivity to that, is that if Villa can get through that and still be in the position that they are now, I absolutely believe that not necessarily they can go on and win the league, but they can be up there asking a question come March or April, because when it gets to the business end of European football, and LB's has touched on it because they are in Europe, this Europa League, in all due respect to Villa and Forest, this Europa League isn't the Europa League of years gone by.
It's easy.
You haven't got the dropped in Champions League teams. You look at the teams in that Europa League, like Villa and Forest as well, should be beating the vast majority of them. Villa should be beating them all. In my opinion, Villa should be beating them all. Forest, you should be beating the vast majority of those teams.
Agreed.
And so those fixtures are not as tough on a Thursday night as what they would have been 2 or 3 years ago. So therefore,
the only thing
you can work on both platforms and still do really well. And I think if they can get past January, they might have to sacrifice an FA Cup, which I know you don't want to do, Billy. You might have to sacrifice an FA Cup and go,
away to Spurs, by the way.
Yeah, away to Spurs.
And so you might have to do that, and it might be for the greater good. But in the long run, if you can get through that period, that really difficult period in these next 2 months, and come out of that unscathed, I think you've got a great chance, because you've got a brilliant manager. You've got an absolutely brilliant manager, and I have to say, it does remind me a little bit of Newcastle United when we struggled to sign anyone that summer before we won the Carabao Cup, and we had to sell Anderson and Minte, right? And we had to just go with what we had, and we just had to go with that same team and just run it again. I genuinely believe that Villa are in that similar position. You managed to sign a couple of players in the summer, but you couldn't sign what you wanted. As Wolfie said, you didn't inject your transfer policy in place, but you're going with what you got. They're tried and tested. They know the roles, they know the jobs, and they're executing it perfectly. And it does have like sort of flashbacks for me from last season. But I genuinely think by the end of the season, you'll be lifting the trophy. I genuinely think you'll be lifting the trophy.
Dad, I'm not saying Villa are going to win the league. I still think City do. But to dismiss Villa is my point. Is crazy. The other thing, Charlie's going, oh, this is a small sample.
Crazy to dismiss them at all.
Sounded like you were. But Billy, if I'm not mistaken, you'll know better than me.
Oh, I'm dismissing them. crazy to dismiss them?
Exactly. So they can be in the title race and they can win it.
They can't win it.
No. Why is it
How
crazy?
can you say
Why
they
is it
can't
crazy
win it?
to
I get
dismiss
all you
them?
know how to talk about is how teams can't win it like your own. But we're talking about a team with a proper team here and a proper manager, bro.
Why is it crazy to dismiss them?
Why is it crazy to dismiss
Are you
them?
dismissing Palace?
Yeah.
Why? They won the FA Cup last year. They're only 4 points off of Villa.
So I've seen Man U in the FA Cup recently. I
So
want
why are you
them in the
dismissing
title race.
Palace then?
Because I think Villa's team is better, and I think their manager is better, and I think Villa have been in and around these positions.
Glasner's won a few things, so hasn't he, in his career?
Yeah, he's won
FA
Europa
Cup,
League.
he won a
Europa
couple of
League,
games in
yeah.
Germany as well.
He's won the Europa League.
Look,
Why are you
there's-
dismissing
there's
that?
a reason-
Emery's won more Europa Leagues than Glasner.
Emery's a better manager though.
Emery's only won one league in his whole career.
Emery's
so
one of
what
the
we're
best
doing here?
managers in the league.
Emery is the next best manager after Pep.
And also
in my-
Villa's home record. If you want long sustained, Billy, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you've lost one game in the last 18
They
months.
can beat
there.
anyone at Villa Park. They really can.
What's
Yeah,
Palace's home record? They got a good home record.
That was undefeated. It was like 17 games and like half of them were draws.
I think
Okay,
the only
well,
thing that's going to let Palace as well, but the only thing that's
Yeah,
going to
we
let
will.
Villa down potentially is the strength in depth in midfield is class, but I don't know that the strength in depth in attack or in defense is, and that's the only problem you've got. So if you were to lose a couple of them players, I don't know the players coming in that great. And
also, Palace have not won a single game after a Thursday night game this season, whereas Villa have.
Well, I think Villa will end up struggling at some point.
will.
Palace in a similar vein though. But you look at that Conference League, the teams in there are shocking, and they'll have a decent run at it. But for the points you boys just made, their squad is significantly weaker than Aston Villa's overall, and I think that's the big difference.
I think if Villa are actually going to do anything like later into the season, they have to invest in January. Otherwise, they will fall off a little bit.
So if Villa strengthen in January, let's say they get in 2, 3, 4, and by the way, most people were saying last Jan they had the best Jan window with the amount of strength they went for in there. You can argue whether or not you rate the players.
Yeah, but
So
they
if
still
Villa
missed
have
out
a
on what they
sniff
wanted
at this
to do in
time,
the end.
let's say they have a good December and they strengthen in Jan. Are you all going to be like, no, they can't, Charlie? You still going to say they can't?
I never said that they couldn't change.
Not you. I'm saying Charlie. Charlie literally said they can't.
They'll have a better. They don't have a better chance of staying up there for longer. But I still think ultimately we've got no evidence that Villa can last the course of a season being competitive right at the highest level in the Premier League.
Didn't 2 years ago, Charlie, you have to go on a mad run at the end of the season to pip Spurs for the champions? Billy, sorry, to pip Spurs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was Emery's
We have
first season,
evidence of them running late into the season.
Yeah, but that's not a title race, mate. That's totally
It's an
different.
end run format.
Also,
It shows that they can run with it. It shows that they can run with it for a sustained period of time in the business end of the season. It shows that they can do it. If anyone could do it, Emery can do it. I actually loved the fact that Villa did that last January. They went harder. I actually hope that Newcastle United do the same. I really do hope that we go and
For God's sake.
I love the fact that Villa did that, and I think Villa need to do that again. Not necessarily throw all those wages in and all the rest of it on those type of players, but be kind of absolutely. Be proactive and go out there and sign from a position of strength, because that's what you'll be in. You'll be in strength, and you'll be able to add to that. You'll have players that will look at you that might not necessarily and have gone, actually, they're up there challenging. I want to be a part of this, and will commit. And signing from that position of strength is exactly what you need to do.
By the way, I'm not saying that Villa are terrible or anything like that. They're playing unbelievably well, in great form. I just don't think it's outrageous to say they're not going to win the title. Like what as LB said, why is that crazy? Why is that such a? Why is that?
Just give me about 100 reasons.
I honestly agree with it though. I don't think we're in a title race. I think the term for title
you were here
race.
before, Bill, if you remember, weren't you, a couple of years ago? You were here before.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we could have gone top if we'd have beat Sheffield United at home for Christmas. Game before Christmas.
Yeah.
I'll never forget Axel's.
Yeah, but Chelsea could have done the same thing last year, and they didn't. Okay, so what? If Chelsea were in your position right now, 3 points behind Arsenal, would Chelsea be saying, "Oh, we're not in a title"? Well, I know Charlie would. But
no,
why is it different?
They'd all be saying that they're in a title race, but I still don't think that they would be. Just like I said the other week, if Chelsea are in a title race, then Villa are in a title race. But I also said I don't think either of us are, and that stands. Emery actually said the words of a title race are empty until March, April, May time.
Yeah.
That's literally what he said in his presser.
If you're not in a title race now, you're very unlikely to be in one in April.
Yeah, but it's empty words, isn't it? Anyone could be in a title race come April.
So a Palace in a title race right now, then will be
exactly. My opinion on the title race is Arsenal and Man City, the two teams that we've seen do it for the past 2-3 years.
Did you think Leicester were in a title race in December? Sorry.
No, because I thought that they'd drop off.
Did they drop off?
No, they didn't. And hopefully Villa will be in the same position where come April, May, we'll be going, fucking hell, Villa, we actually are in a title race. We may actually win the title here.
I hope you do it.
I thought until game week 37 that Leicester would drop off, I'll be honest.
Yeah, look, I don't think Aston Villa will win the league. I do think it will be Arsenal or City. But this season is one of those seasons that no one is looking unbelievable right now. I mean, Aston Villa have just beaten Arsenal, Manchester City. I know LB's buzzing because they're 2 points, but I don't think they look amazing. Chelsea, Liverpool, we're laughing about them each week. It's not. And maybe this is the season. If there was someone to do a madness, whether it be a league or get into the top four, then it would be this one. Maybe a Palace get into fourth, or maybe Villa get into third or something. I don't know. Maybe I could see that happening. I'm just not sure if I could see anybody outside of City or Arsenal winning the league just because of the squad and the know-how from City, because I just feel like there's a lot of question marks on Arsenal. And I don't know what your boys thought about the kind of result and what that means for Man City and Arsenal bringing Man City in, because I just feel like there's only been a handful of games so far where there's been an element of pressure, and Arsenal haven't won any of them. The 5 games that we've dropped, there's all been a kind of question mark of, oh, that's a big game, make a statement, or pull away, and we haven't been able to make a statement or pull away. Now, it doesn't mean Arsenal aren't going to win the league, because we're still 2 points and we're favourites, but I just personally feel like there's a question mark about Mikel Arteta and the mentality of getting this team across the line that has always been there for me. And it's still evident that when it kind of pressure is on, we do crumble. And I appreciate we've got both our centre-backs out, and Jamie Carragher highlighted that as being a huge issue at the weekend, and it was poor and the reason they lost the game. I actually didn't, watching it live, think that was the reason we lost the game, if I'm honest. I actually took our attack and questioned it more than my defence, because I didn't think Nketiah was bad. I know he should have cleared it at the end and he went off for a throw-in. That was just a mistake. But I was looking at Eze, I was looking at Odegaard, I was looking at Saka, I was looking at Marino and Gyökeres, who both stunk out the gap.
Terrible.
Well, Marino as well was even worse. He had to come off. He was that bad. So we've got some problems, man, in the attack still. So
you're concerned about Gyökeres, by the way? I don't want to. I'm not like writing him off, but it's safe to say that he's not been great, has he? He
hasn't been great, but I don't know a striker that has under Arteta, bruv, if I'm honest. The only one that was Aubameyang, and he got sold. So I don't really know anyone that has. Look, I'm not saying that it's all on Arteta, but I certainly don't understand how a guy can score 100 goals in 2 games and then doesn't look particularly good the following season under a system where none of our strikers have looked very good in the last 5 years. So look, I don't think that we miss Havertz or we miss Jesus. I certainly don't think he's been a huge upgrade on those, if I'm honest, so far.
I think Havertz will come straight back in.
He will.
Like Arteta loves Havertz, by the way. Like he's basically he's probably one of his favourite players. I honestly think that Gyökeres has been, because when Gyökeres was signed, it was all about this is like the missing piece. This has been a main guy that plays. I honestly think that when Havertz is fit again, Arteta will just rotate between Gyökeres and Havertz.
He'll do what he's done with Odegaard.
Yeah. Gyökeres will be a squad player, yeah.
Havertz comes straight back in. Eze and Gyökeres will be off the bench.
I don't think Gyökeres is the issue. I think something I'm noticing is I don't know what the right word is, his squad management of certain players. Like Declan Rice is looking absolutely knackered. Like, why is he overplaying him? Hasn't he learned from what he did with Saka last? I think Declan Rice is a couple of games away from pulling a hammy or a groin or something like that. He looks tired on the pitch. We saw this last season with Saka, overused. Hamstring goes, and then suddenly that's Saka out for the season. Even when he came back, didn't look fully fit. So I question why you bought players like Norgard VPN. If you're not going to use him, if you're not going to rotate, I know you've had some tough games and what have you, but you need fresh players in some of these big games. And Declan Rice does not look fresh for me. I still think the issue is Arteta. I think you will end up losing the league because of Arteta, his decision making, these injuries that we were told at the start of the summer, even by Igal, that there's no excuse for injury FC this season because it's the best squad in Europe. And now suddenly I'm hearing Arsenal fans saying, well, we didn't have Gabriel, we didn't have Saliba. But Nkapé was meant to be brilliant for it. You know, and then you got Mascara as well, who all the Arsenal fans were glazed. I know he's injured at the moment, isn't he? But he was getting glazed up when he stepped in early season. So you can't use that excuse. I think the squad management has been quite poor from Arteta. I think Zubimendi looked a little.
Wolfie, how can you sit there, and say that Gyökeres isn't a problem when he scored in 3 Premier League goals?
He's a problem.
3 Premier League games.
Because they've been winning, bro. They've been winning.
But he was brought in to score goals, and he scored in 3 games.
Well, if you listen to the Arsenal fans, his link-up players doing this.
But you know the Arsenal fans are chatting shit because
I know,
that's
but
not
I'm
why
not
they
saying
brought
he's
him
not
into
a problem.
the team.
I'm not saying he's not
The Arsenal fans are saying, because they're just trying to gaslight everybody. You, as your own person, you've got your own view and your own opinion. Yeah. So how can you sit there and say that Gyökeres is not a problem when we all know he was brought in to score goals?
No, I'm saying he's not the problem.
You said he wasn't a problem.
No, I said he's not the problem.
Well, I think he's a massive fucking problem, if I'm being honest.
Okay, but do you think Gyökeres will come good?
I don't know.
I think he does. I think he does.
I don't think he fits the start.
You're judging early. You're judging too early on Gyökeres.
Well, hang on a minute. We're 15 fucking games into the season here.
I think you're judging early. How many of those has he played?
You can't. Hold on. You can't.
He's played every single one bar 2. He's played every single game bar 2 games. He scored in 3
games. You can't have Isak and not look at Gyökeres in the same way. They were both signed as big money signings for their clubs.
He's 27,
and he's in a position. He's in a position where he was almost being the missing piece of that to take them to the title. Right, and he's turned up and he's not scoring goals. He doesn't even look like scoring goals. He doesn't even look like he fits the system. It looks like they've just picked him up from Sporting and just plonked him in that team, and he just looks out.
They create no chances for him.
I think you lot are being too harsh on Gyökeres because I think he's going to come good. Let me rephrase. I think you're fair in saying he hasn't lit the world on fire, but I think he comes good. I think he comes good.
It's not the sole problem. I agree with OB. He is absolutely part of the problem. He is part of the problem because this should be games. That game at the weekend is games where you'd expect him to be the difference maker. That you'd expect him to turn up and
he didn't start, bro. He didn't
played 45 minutes.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He didn't start.
If this guy's a 21, if he's a 21, 22-year-old young player that's come in, your point's valid. This is a guy, right, who has got a proven track record of scoring a fuckload of goals in Portugal and in the Champions League. Billed as the missing piece to come in to score the goals to win Arsenal League. Everyone's saying Arsenal need a centre forward. That's the only thing that they need. And he's turned up, and as LB said, he's scored in 3 games, and he's not playing well. And he's looking like he's a problem. He's not the only problem.
Saying he scored in 3 games is trying to make the stats look favourable. He's scored more goals than that.
Wait, what do you mean not favourable? It's a factual.
Okay, how many factual goals has he scored this season?
5
in the Premier League. 4. So not
in total. And in total,
4 Premier League goals. He scored in 3 games. And he scored 4 Premier League goals.
Guys, can we not?
I think he's got 7 in all competitions.
How many games is that?
He's got 6 goals in all competitions.
I see what Wolfie's doing. See, Wolfie, you're not gonna try to do the little Miss Red Riding Hood, not on this channel, mate. Yeah, we see you. What Wolfie is doing, is he strategically trying to lean into or angle himself to become an Arsenal fan next season. You're an absolute disgrace, mate. The Swedish Ollie Watkins, Gyökeres, we all debated it at the beginning of the season. We all agree.
Unnecessary dig at Watkins there, by the way.
guy was capable of scoring 15 Premier League goals, and LB is absolutely correct. You know what I'm saying? He will do well to score 12. Richarlison is issuing better numbers from Spurs, and we only have we have less than a shot on target per game. Hold that. Yeah. So Gyökeres is crap, and anything about the Arsenal, the greatest squad in the league, by the way. We don't want to be hearing any tears about your centre backs either. So Wolfie,
wait, Deji,
took another loss.
Deji, you're being mad. Would you drop Richarlison?
Yes.
Okay, I'm confused. Isn't he your top striker?
No, bro, two wrongs doesn't make it right. I
okay,
said
so why are you coming at Gyökeres on GA?
I said
why are you coming at Gyökeres at GA, but you would drop Richarlison, who's got your most goals as a striker?
Because we've got Solanke, who's been injured, that hasn't played a game this season.
I didn't say would you drop him if Solanke's fit. I just asked you, would you drop him?
I would drop Richarlison. Yes.
Wolfie,
so don't come to an argument talking about goals.
We're talking about him though. We're talking about Arsenal, bro.
Yeah, but Wolfie, are you accepting that Gyökeres has been poor this season? Do you accept that?
I think he's been average. I wouldn't say poor. I think he's been average.
I think average is bad because they didn't buy him to be average.
Okay.
Bro, on his current scoring rate, he is expected to end the Premier League season with 10 goals.
There you go.
Okay, that's like saying Haaland was expected to end the Premier League season with 75 goals on his rate over 5 games.
Bro, I don't understand the defending that you're doing of this guy.
Let me ask a
I'm not
question.
defending. I'm just saying you guys doing too much.
You are defending.
You're defending him, Wolfie. Come on, man.
Let me ask the question then, because like Wolfie's saying one thing, the panel's saying another. What I need to work out, and what I still don't know in my mind is Arteta just not able to get anything out of the 8 strikers he's tried to, or are all the 8 strikers we had just bang average and shite? Which one is it?
You didn't buy any proper strikers.
Bit of both. I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah. Bit of both. Like, if we're being honest with you, yeah, it's quite obvious to me, right, that this team probably needs like a false 90 type player. You need Ekatike. I think that's the guy who is the perfect fit for Arsenal. Like, you've signed this Gyökeres. I'm not doing revisionism here. I said to Foxy when you signed him, I think it's the right thing. But at the end of the day, yeah, this guy.
You can change your mind with that once you look at once you look at 15 games, you can you can say that you can change your mind to say Gyökeres now doesn't look the right fit. Now, I personally will say
I'd drop him, bro.
His 45 minutes against Burnley, he was excellent, right? I know it's Burnley, but then he came on for 45 minutes against Villa and looked particularly poor. Now, I don't want to be giving up on Gyökeres. I don't think we can after we've now made,
of course you can,
tried to make him this guy that we want to be seeing. However, I can't sit there and lie and say, I still think he's looking good and he will come great. I don't know that he'll come good. I hope Wolfie's right in that he does come good. I think that he will score goals. I don't think he's going to get any more than Kai Havertz did for Arsenal in his season. I think it was 15. I don't think we're going to see him scoring 20, 30, or 40. But I don't think that he is an absolute scrub like some people are making out. But I certainly don't think he's the guy that's going to get us to 30 goals. Now, we could still win the league with Gyökeres. If I'm honest with you, I don't care how many goals he scores if we do win the league. But my question mark is Arteta not getting the best out of this attack? Or is Gyökeres just like Pep Guardiola wouldn't be able to get him scoring?
Yeah, I mean, one of my concerns would be why does Mikel Moreno look more dangerous up top than Gyökeres?
Yeah, I think he's suiting the system a hell of a lot more than Gyökeres.
Because it's a false 90 type striker. When he goes up there, he drops in the pockets, he links up the play, and he's fucking
exactly the same with Havertz as well. LB, when Havertz is back, he does exactly that sort of thing, which is why
Havertz doesn't have the finishing that Marino has. Marino's a quality finisher, man.
Question of Potts, do you think Richarlison's a scrub?
Everyone thinks Richarlison's a scrub.
What to do with Arsenal? But yeah,
I just need you to. Potts, I don't need you to be a politician tonight. I'm asking you a simple question. And I need a simple answer.
I don't think anybody rates Richarlison. Yeah, I do.
Do you think he's a scrub? You do.
Yeah, I
so
think he's awful.
You don't think Gyökeres is a scrub? What you think Richarlison is?
Deji, do you think Henry was a scrub?
Hold that.
Deji, was Henry a scrub?
Are you comparing Gyökeres to Henry?
No. I'm just asking you a separate question. Was
You just
Henry a
lost
scrub?
your chance to becoming a legend of an Arsenal fan with that question.
Yeah.
I know you're pivoting to becoming an Arsenal fan, but
Deji, like you said to Potts, I don't want you to do the
opportunity.
politician thing. I just want you to answer a question.
How can Henry, probably the best striker in Premier League history, be a scrub?
How many goals did Henry score in his first 20 games at Arsenal?
Yeah, but bro,
I don't know.
this is a ridiculous comparison because he was.
You know
he
what I'm
was
saying?
young
Like, what
kid
is this guy
then.
doing?
You're the one who's talking about goals with Richarlison and everything. I was telling you now, Henry scored 7 goals in his first 20 games at Arsenal.
Yes, but he was but he was like a teenager or in his early 20s coming in from France or Italy as a young
23.
player.
He was
This is a
23.
27-year-old. Bro, I don't
Teenager.
understand what part of this you're not understanding, bro. This is a 27-year-old striker who's come in with
Did
a
Henry
proven
come
track
into a
record
better
of
team
scoring
than
goals.
Gyökeres?
Bro, he's a proven track record of scoring goals. This is a ridiculous comparison. Why are you prepared to die on this
Exactly my
Gyökeres hill?
point. This is
Why
why
are you
you
dying
guys
on the
are just
Gyökeres
moving
hill?
so crazy on this Gyökeres stuff. Yeah, you
Why
know
are
what?
you
I
dying on
don't
the
care if
Gyökeres hill?
Gyökeres
I
flops
think-
or not, but I
And-
hope
and
he
he used to
absolutely
play off the
bangs
left as well.
goals.
And
I
he's the
think-
player
I'd
for left.
say full
I think it's
man.
fair to say that Wolfie's been in front of the screen for far too long, and he's projecting on us.
Agreed.
Bro, what are you talking about? You
he's
fled the
projecting.
country last week when you
Because I-
lost, man. You gonna talk to me about projecting?
Wolfie, you know what would be interesting, and I apologize if we've already done that segment. I want to see if you maintain this when we talk about your club for.
I haven't got there yet, no.
Yeah. So when we have
Let's-
let's
when we
move-
spend
let's move.
1
I want to
minute,
see if
on
you
your-
maintain the
on your-
Richarlison goal
Potts, before we
scoring
go,
stuff.
I've
Talk about
got a
yours.
question. I've got a question for you, Potts. With the goal at the end, were you alarmed by the reaction from the Arsenal players? See,
Yeah, you know what? That's a good question.
it looked like
Carragher
it
mentioned-
hurt them too
Yeah,
much.
Jamie Carragher mentioned that, and that was really strange in my opinion. Like, look, it was. I don't expect the players to be happy, but I don't also expect the players to act like they've just lost the World Cup final. It was very odd, very very odd. I
I
can
feel like the
understand
normal reaction is just to collapse. Just
Well,
to
that's what
clap.
they
Yeah,
did.
and I
That's
think
what
some
they
of
did.
them did that. I think Raya
Yeah, a
was the
couple
one
of
that
them
was
did
going a
that, but
bit.
it was
Smashing up the floor, yeah.
Raya more than
Wait,
Yeah, but I
what
remember
was the
it. They've just
reaction? What was
conceded
the
a
reaction?
94th
Yeah.
minute goal that's lost
Remind
them
me
the
again.
match. Like, I'll happily remind you. But like, I don't really get like what the fucking people expected them to do, bro. Like, what were they meant to do?
No,
Wait, what was
I
the
understand
reaction,
what you're
Billy?
saying.
What was the reaction?
Bro, smashing the
It-
floor.
Raya was just smashing the floor, and
Yeah, because he's
I don't
pissed
know.
off, bro. I don't know. I felt like
What was
94th
wrong
minute
with that?
goal.
No,
thought it would
I
be weird
get,
if it
I
was-
get, I get that. I was just asking Potts if what he
But
felt.
it's because Jamie Carragher went on about it tonight, like, oh, why are Arsenal over like
Yeah, but
going
people like
over
to
the
do that.
top
But
of
I
the
think people like to do that stuff. Just a quick one, yeah. Just going back to the original point. I think I might have realised why Wolfie's gone on the defensive because, Wolfie, do you want to name the 3 teams that Gyökeres has scored against this season in the Premier League?
Forest, Leeds,
Forest. You're one of the only 3 teams this guy's scored against.
Bro, do you know how many other players have scored against Forest?
Yeah, but
this
is that
season?
why?
would I single out
Does it make
Gyökeres,
does
bro?
it make
It's all making
Forest?
sense
Like,
now. It's all
seriously.
making sense.
Does it make Forest seem like some ass club if we're saying that he's only scored against 3 teams? And
Bro,
you're trying-
I've seen fucking Barry score against my club. You think I'm going to put Gyökeres there as the embarrassing one?
I think
come on.
something's not adding up here, and this is a piece
But
of the
something
jigsaw.
that's not adding up, LB, is just being consistent, bro. You've been flip-flopping about, we're going to win the title. We're not going to win the title week to week. Yeah, I've been consistent about Man City telling you from the start of the season you're going to win it. And now you're reactionary to Gyökeres being shit. If he goes and scores 10 goals in the next 5 games, I don't want you sat here saying, oh, you know
he's
what?
doing it.
He's
He's
a
not gonna do
baller.
Why?
He's a
Why
baller.
can I not do that?
He's
Why?
a
Why? If
baller.
he just scored 10
Because you're
goals in the
saying it,
next
because
5
when I
games,
asked you, do you think he'll come good? You said no.
no, I didn't. I said I don't know.
So you
I don't know
listen.
what's going to happen.
All
I
right,
don't
so
have a
push your
crystal
chest
ball.
out. Will he come good or not?
Well, it's the
In your opinion.
At this moment in time, I don't think he do. I don't think he will. If he scores 10 goals in the next 5 games, I'm likely not going to be sitting here going, "He's shit." Am I? I'm going to be like,
Yeah,
"Yo,
flip-flop,
fair enough."
flip-flop,
But
I
I
hear it.
think I'm
Bro, it's not-
entitled.
bro, there's nothing wrong with
After
changing
15
your
Premier
opinion.
League matches, I'm entitled to have an opinion that this guy is
I'm
not
not changing mine.
delivering what Arsenal bought him for.
Yeah.
He's 27. They spent big money on him. He scored 50 goals last year, and he scored in three
Exactly.
Prem
He's the
Prem
best
games
striker in
against
Europe.
fucking Leeds, Forest and Burnley, three of the shittest teams in the
It's
division.
Marmouche flop. It's Marmouche flop.
No, and also, by the way, what is wrong with changing your opinion when the evidence changes? Why do you have to have an opinion and then stick with it? Why can't you change it when
I have no problem with that. It's the whole freaking from game to game stuff. There's no consistency.
Well, I've been on this.
Let me ask you, is Marmouche a flop?
Well, I think he's a bit disappointing this season. He wasn't a flop.
Is he a flop?
But no one said Gyökeres.
Didn't you pay more for him than Arsenal paid for Gyökeres?
I think he's a flop.
Yeah, but
no one's saying Gyökeres is a flop.
Not the same, bro.
I am.
Marmouche not even getting our best 11. Marmouche not even getting our best 11, bro.
All right, let me quick because we're going to be here all night. Otherwise, let me ask LB very quickly. Are you winning the league, LB? Are you getting your chest out?
Don't know.
Because you're only 2 behind us, mate, and you're a shark and all this. Are you a great white shark or a reef shark, man? Come on, which one are you?
Baby shark.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we've got a great chance, man. I'll be real with you, but we're obviously not the same city as like previous years, so I've not got as much confidence. But I listen. I still think we're in a great position, man. I think we're in a great position. I don't think we've seen anywhere near our best. I think we're still miles away, and I think by the sounds of it, I do think City might hit the market in January as well for a couple of players, so that could be interesting. But we're just doing our thing, man. You know what I mean? Doing our thing. We're 2 points off the great Arsenal, who are the best team in the world, and yeah, man, I'm pretty chill. I'm pretty chill.
Raise your hand if Man City are winning this league.
What a boys.
I'm not sure.
Wait, LB, the question included you.
I'm a spectator.
I'm not
You're a freaking fence-sitting bastard, man. That's what you are, bro.
What I will say is that I'm not sure, but I genuinely think that after this weekend, Man City should be smelling blood right now.
Yeah, they are smelling blood.
Seeing what's happened to Arsenal. What are they? 2 points now? Is it 2 points? Yeah. And by Wolfie's mass, with the fact that they've got to come to the Etihad, puts them in the driving seat. They should be smelling blood right now. So if anything should be giving them motivation, it's that. And that's why I'm not sure, because I had kind of.
I'm just a little confused.
I'm not sure that's going to be the case.
I'm just a little confused because Deji's put his hand up, but he's told us all that Pep's finished and it's the end of the road. So
I need to explain. Can I just explain? I put my hand up simply to get your attention. In relation to Plymouth, I do think it's the end of the road for them, but I won't lie to you. I have my own personal biases here. I would rather Plymouth win the league than the Red Tottenham, but I'm actually going to do a public apology. My heart is with Billy. I want Villa to win. That would be the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Villa.
I thought they were getting relegated, Dej.
You did say they were getting relegated.
Look,
he did say he's just about to.
Can I just be real?
He's all over the place.
I know that you guys are moving like the politicians. You know, 8 things I've got right this season. None of you have given me my flowers, but you want to get me on the one thing I've got wrong. Fine, be shameless. Do you get what I'm saying?
Wait, what thing have you got right?
Billy, I'm just letting you know publicly that if loving you is wrong, then I don't want to be right. Holla at your boy. Come on, Villa. I want Villa to win.
Wait, Dej, in the scenario,
so you ruling yourself out the title race, Dej.
Yeah, Dej out the title race, ruled himself out.
Whilst we've got Frank at the helm, we're not involved in nothing, mate.
Okay. Are we finishing above you now, Dej?
What's that?
Are we finishing above you now?
Ooh.
Under Frank.
Oh,
yes.
Billy with the dagger, man.
Oh, Dej is going to say yes.
When you catch me in a good mood, you should just.
It's all up. It's all up. It's all up.
Wait, Dej, can I ask something? If Villa can't win it, because Charlie says it's impossible.
I didn't say it was impossible. I just said they're not going.
You actually did. Go back and look at the tape. But anyway, if they can't win it, are you backing City to win it over Arsenal?
Yes.
So,
even though
how are you feeling about the 1st of Feb? Are you prepared to throw that game at the 3-point stadium?
Oh, what game? Spurs City?
Spurs City, yeah.
Bro, look, I'm not going to lie to you. I'll be real. I'll be lying if I'm if I say I'm not worried about the Red Tottenham. I'm worried that they could win the league this season, and I need City or Villa or Crystal Palace to do what they got to do to stop them winning. And I don't give a damn.
Because if they don't, then what we all have to do is you'll have to try and win to get into the Champions League again. You'd rather lose so Arsenal don't win the league, because that's the sort of club Tottenham are.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable, man. Tottenham.
So you throw the game on the 1st of Feb there, just to confirm, yeah?
Right, the sort of season. Look, let me tell you, Tottenham season's bad enough. We ain't doing jack. So really, my focus now is on derailing the Gooners. And as long as we derail you off winning the league, because remember, this is the strongest squad you've ever had. If you don't win this season, you guys are finished. So for me, that's where all my energy and focus will be.
By the way, is it Spurs Forest this weekend?
It is.
Wow.
Is it? Wolfie, we got to do a preview, mate.
All right.
What's the genuine thoughts about that game? Because that's I think I fancy Forest. You know, is it your player?
Can both teams lose?
Don't hate.
No,
Don't
Forest, yeah.
hate.
Is that Forest?
Hey, I've just backed you to win the fucking title, and you're saying, I know you've got a Forest agenda, bro.
I don't.
You just want to. You're just trying to
I
suck up
fancy a
the
Sean
cartel
Dyche.
chicks.
I fancy a Sean Dyche stinky 1-0. That's what I fancy.
I actually fancy a stinky 3-0.
Did you fancy? Wolfie? Did you fancy yourselves to beat Everton?
No.
You categorically said you weren't going to win that game.
No, I said at best we get 0-0.
Can we just ask as a panel, like Forest aren't going down, are they? Let's just be real.
No, I don't think so. They're just lucky there's 3 teams that are shitter.
4.
Forest are going down.
You think they are, Deji?
I think the 3 teams that Yoker has scored against are going down.
That's a shout.
Deji, I would like you at the start of every single stream you go on to say that Forest are going down, please, because you were saying that about Villa, bro.
Good shout.
I'm just saying.
And to be fair, the last time Deji predicted Liverpool to come 7th, they won the league. So let's, Deji's predictions are never great. Actually, let's look at what Deji.
No, but remember what I've now qualified that, saying that I might be a season ahead.
You might be a season ahead.
So you're projecting one season forward, right?
Oh, wrong one. That's the London one. Race for Europe. What did Deji
Spurs
put?
third. Spurs in that one.
I don't know why you're laughing at here.
Right, bring that back up on the screen a sec, Potts.
Oh, Spurs in 3rd. That is brilliant.
Wolfie's got Forest in the top 6.
Look at where Deji's put Man City 5th.
Where's Wolfie one? Where's City? He's a madman.
Wolfie's top left. He's put Forest in 6th place.
Correct.
He's a madman.
And Spurs are nowhere to be seen in Wolfie's.
Exactly. I think mine's more likely than Deji's.
But everybody else apart from Billy, who I've got slight issues with anyway, I try to show man love. Everyone else has Spurs in the top 7. Billy, you're an absolute disgrace.
Okay, if anyone else, if you could change your predictions on Spurs finishing top 7, boys, would you change it?
Yes.
No.
Wait, say that again?
Probably would, yeah.
So if you put Spurs top 7, Charlie, if you could do it again now.
Those are 4 points of 4th.
No, I'd leave Spurs top 7 probably.
You think they get top 7?
I'd swap with Villa.
Potts, put that back up. Where did I put Spurs?
I think you and me were pretty much spot on with what we both put.
Spurs,
I think you.
He's 6th.
I'll take that.
Nah,
Yeah,
I'll
me
take
and
that
Pete.
I'll take that under Thomas Frank.
I'm changing that. Yeah.
I know we didn't have the same. Me and
Can
Pete.
I ask a question? Because Wolfie can't do all the questions. Can I ask a legit question?
Yeah.
If we had the opportunity to extend the list
Man, you
to
got a
like
penalty.
13 teams, is any of you adding Nottingham Forest in your top 13?
Yes.
Maybe.
And can I add into his question? Would you put Spurs in there as well?
Bruv, the Spurs are already in there, bro. We're getting 6th and 5th.
Oh, the
and
season
3rd.
finishes. I hear it. It's finished, hasn't it?
Yeah, nobody on this panel is putting Nottingham Forest in their top 7. Hold that.
No, you said 13.
To be fair, no one spoke up.
How about 15? Anyway, look, it's getting a bit petty between me and Wolfie. We'll deal with this later.
Yeah, we need to start cooking Chelsea.
Let's move. Let's move. Chelsea again. I mean, I watched that game and almost fell asleep. It was so embarrassing. They were so bad. And I think me and LB have kind of been right. And I don't think the Chelsea fans want to admit it. But LB said that they weren't going to be in a title race. I thought they were going to be in a top 4 race. And I don't think that they've got good enough attackers or good enough defenders. The midfield without Caicedo is pretty embarrassing as well. And Enzo Fernandez, the Argentinian Conor Gallagher, is what he's been playing like in the last few games.
Whoa. This is the second coming of Tony Cruz, Potts. Have a little bit of respect, please. Have a little bit of respect.
I don't understand it, man. I don't understand it. Chelsea fans, I don't know why they were so excited with their 1-1 win at Arsenal. But, you know, maybe they've just been humbled a little bit now. Bournemouth aren't even playing that well at the moment. They've actually been disappointed with their results as well. Leeds was a disaster, and Leeds deserved that as well. And I think right now, Charlie, I think it's now looking at where you like where the blame lies. Really, is Maresca doing a good enough job? Are the players just not good enough? Are you going to be able to get top 4, or is it not that bad yet?
We'll finish top 4, but I mean, this is why I said we're never in a title race, because I know that this squad's not good enough. And I know that when the first 11 and the best 11 is not fit and available, that we are going to struggle. The attack is not of the level required. Like I said it after the game against Bournemouth, you've really got Cole Palmer, who's top quality. And then outside that, there's no one else that is decent. They're all pretty average. I mean, Esteval, I won't include him in that. He's 18 years old. He's just come. He's done pretty well. But Garnacho and Gittins are both average. Delap is average. João Pedro's been shocking for months now. And Pedro Neto has probably been our best winger, but he's improved his output, but his actual general play is pretty average as well. So you're in a situation where you've got Cole Palmer, who's like, I mean, obviously, by the way, Cole Palmer wasn't good against Bournemouth, but that's his first start in 2 months. He's coming back.
Yeah, we ain't cooking him, mate. He's a baller
from an injury. But outside of that, this is down to the fact that the squad depth is poor. And I said it in the summer that it's no good. And I wasn't one of those Chelsea fans.
It's not even your depth, though, is it, Charlie? Your actual starting 11 is miles overrated, let alone the depth.
It depends what part of it. On our day when we play well,
I thought you had the best midfield in the world.
I think the midfield is very good. I never said it was the best
in the world. Yeah,
I never said it was the best in the world. But
wait, have you got the best fullbacks in the world?
Yeah, I think we do have the best fullbacks in the world. But 2 players don't make a team.
So half your team is the best team in the world.
No, no. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. I didn't say the midfield was the best in the world. You can make a case that.
Okay, is it up there?
Yeah, it's up there.
So half your team is up there as half of the best team in the world, but you're shit.
No, I didn't say we're shit. We're struggling.
They've got a few very, very good players here.
Yeah, we do.
Let's just have it right. Yeah, Reece James, mega. Cucurella, mega. Caicedo, mega. Palmer, mega. In my opinion, outside of that, it's a whole load of average. Yeah, Fofana's decent, but until he stays fit consistently, I'm not throwing him into that bracket until he's staying fit, because that's what you got to do to be considered a top player. So they've got 4 or 5 very good players, and the rest of them are very, very average players. Yeah, some of these Chelsea fans are going on like this team is mega. It's a bang average side with some good players in it, and these guys think they're going to be in a title race. Some of these Chelsea fans, they're off their head, man.
Not me, by the way, not me.
Oh, you thought about it.
Oh, mate, when did I ever say? I never said we're in a title race. Every week
you said
every week you tried to get onto me to make me say we're in a title race, and every week I stood my ground because I know what this team is and I know what this squad is.
No. You said ask me after the Burnley and Arsenal game. Implying you thought about it and you would consider it if you beat Arsenal.
If we'd picked up the results, because we would have been in a much
if you beat an Arsenal, were you going to be in a title race?
Potentially, yes. At that very point in time. At that point in time, we would have been. But at the end of the day, the squad's not...
You know what, Charlie? You're shameless, because I saw you get cooked on Sky Sports for saying that as well. You got absolutely cooked.
No, Charlie Austin tried to cook me, and
he cooked you. He didn't try. He did. He did.
He did.
He did.
I explained my reasoning as to why we weren't in a title race. Everybody wants Chelsea fans to say they're in a title race, and then when you give them legit reasons why we're not in a title race, they don't like it.
Charlie, you've had 3 years now, and between £1.5 and £2 billion spent, and LB's picked out 4, maybe 5 of your players from a 25. Like, your money has just been wasted and pissed up the wall.
I agree. Like when I seen Delap went down, right, and I think I tweeted it out. Like the the attacking options at Chelsea, right? How are you going to do anything right now when your striking options are Liam Delap, Mark Guiu, and João Pedro? Do you know how disgraceful that is for the amount of money spent? We're supposed to be a top football club, by the way, and those are your striking options.
Facts.
Like, by the way, I had no issue with the Liam Delap signing. Most of the teams on the panel here, bar probably LB and Potts, would have taken Liam Delap. My issue is that Liam Delap has been signed to be the main guy. My issue is that João Pedro has come in and he's got to be a main guy. These should be squad players who come in and play midweek games, and those kind of guys should be the rotations. Those guys shouldn't be the main guys. And so, unfortunately, yes, we have got some very good players as we've discussed, but the squad and the other players in the team are just not of the level required. And so, as I said in the summer, we're capped with how much we can achieve from a league perspective because of the quality of the squad. Look, some Chelsea fans think the squad is way better than it actually is. That's their opinion. That's their opinion. But
opinion, but delusional opinion. I agree.
I would agree it is a delusional opinion because I don't see how you can go through that Chelsea squad and say that it's a top quality squad. It's not. It's got some top quality players in it, but it's nowhere near the level of an Arsenal squad.
Wait, Charlie. You come here whining like my fucking missus.
I'm not whining. I'm stating
same freaking script. Can you give us your solution? I'd like to hear your solution to this bitchy whining you do, man. What's your solution?
Well, the solution is that we need to sign better players. But
your solution is spend more money, bro. Grow your hair long. You might as well be my missus, man. Like, seriously, freaking spend money, man. That's your solution to all problems,
bro. We have to because we haven't got good enough players.
Okay, but you've got a recruitment team that you entrusted with £1.7 billion, and your solution is to entrust them to spend more money.
No, we need to change.
Do you know what the definition of insanity is?
Yeah, but Wolfie, what's he meant to do?
What am I supposed
to do? That's why I'm asking for a solution, man.
Bro, my solution is to change strategy.
Yeah, my solution would be to change.
He said strategy. Buy more. He said buy more was his solution.
But just change the strategy and then buy some more proven quality rather than
players. Which is all I said in the summer was Chelsea need to buy proven players, and their fan base started having a fucking meltdown. And now they're sitting now. Yeah, you just got fucking whacked. Oh, by the way, all the Chelsea fans giving me shit for conceding 2 goals against Leeds. At least I fucking won the game. Yeah, you held 3 and got beat, mate. And then you drew against Bournemouth. Yeah, well done. Yeah, the only fan base I've ever come across where when you actually say you guys should sign some good players, they start having a fucking meltdown. Never come across this before. Yeah, if I said to Pete, Pete, you should sign a better right winger than Elanga, he's not just start kicking off. You go, fair play, yeah, maybe we should. The only fan base I've ever come across where you say, oh, you know what you guys should do? You guys should sign a top quality striker. Oh, what you fucking going on about, mate? Yeah, João Pedro and Delap.
Yeah, but LB, this is the fan base that tried to defend Garnacho as a good signing. Like, what are you expecting?
Have they given up? Have they given up as a fan base?
Yes, ages ago.
And therefore,
the moment Abramovich left, they gave up. The moment that oil money dried up, man, they gave up.
Yeah, but they got the money. They got. I don't know where this guy gets his money from.
It's not about a lack of money. The problem is the way that the money's been spent. There's been a gross misallocation of funds, and ultimately, the transfer policy is a huge gamble. It's a red or black situation.
Chelsea are just a bunch of hoarders, right? Let's just put it out there. They're just a bunch of hoarders, right? They just go out there and just sign any player that any other club around them wants to sign. That's all they do. They do whether they're a young potential player. Now we'll just sign him, put him in the youth team, send him off to Strasbourg, just like put him on loan for a few years, and then just try and make money on him. Right? Any other player, like classic example, you're moaning about João Pedro. You went out of your way to go and sign him when we wanted him. We actually had a plan for that guy. We wanted him to be a guy that actually would do something at Newcastle United. But you went, nah, Newcastle want him? Nah, we're going to sign him. And you just threw loads of money at him, right? More than he was worth, more than we were willing to pay. And you just threw loads of money at him and you just signed him. And now you're just sitting on your bench. Like when Delap went off, okay, get out, Joe Pedro's coming on. Some next guy came on instead. I'm thinking, you invested the money in. Your club invested the money in him to be the guy. But yet he's not coming off the bench when Delap's getting injured. What does that say about your club? What does that say about your manager? What does that say about you, your establishment? It says that you're an absolute disgrace. You're just a bunch of hoarders. That's all you have been for years now. Even before Abramovich left, you're just a bunch of hoarders. You've got no direction in terms of what you actually want to buy. All you're doing is buying to stop other clubs buying players. That's all you do.
To add to that, Pete, to add to that as well quickly, Man United fans did this as well. Me and LB went on, I think it was even Saeed's show. And Saeed and the Man United fans were going amazing about how unbelievable they were against Arsenal when they lost the game 1-0. And then we're hearing the same from Chelsea about how fantastic Chelsea were. I was really impressed with how brilliant Chelsea were. We need to show some respect to Chelsea. And then they just go and lose to Leeds and can't beat Bournemouth. Like, this is the problem. Chelsea, some of the fans, like I grew up when Chelsea was shocking, right? And then in my teenage years, they destroyed most of my teenage years with Drogba dunking on us all the time. And that's the Chelsea that I'm kind of trying to see where can they get that back. I don't think you ever will, Charlie, under this
that's
ownership.
Not coming back. It's going to be different. Like as soon as the club was taken over, that previous version of Chelsea, that's not there anymore. So they're
by choice though. You spent £2 billion.
Oh, yeah, no, it's by choice. Yeah, no, it's not like it's not there because of a lack of investment or anything like that. The club's gone in a completely different direction, and this is the way that they want to do it. And right now, look, it's
Charlie.
You can argue that there's been some success from it because we picked up a couple of trophies and whatnot, but ultimately, like you want to get back to challenging and winning the Premier League. And unfortunately, I don't think with this squad right now and the way that we're recruiting, that's going to lend itself to doing that. What we're doing right now is good enough to be a top 4 team and win some cups. It's not good enough to compete and win a league.
Charlie, that's your fan base's biggest problem right now. Is that what they've seen? They've seen a little bit of improvement from being mid-table and struggling when you had those couple of years where you're really struggling as a club to get results. And then all of a sudden you've had this little upturning form where you've been doing decent. And now your fan base are now expecting you to be there. And you're not. And you're not nowhere near it, but you should be. And this is why I've held you and Chelsea to account for a while now, because I'm just like, with the money you've spent and the players that you're hoarding, because that's all it is, you're just hoarding players, you should be challenging. You should be.
No, I agree.
And your club is failing. Your club is failing. Yes, you won the Club World Cup, whatever, Charity Shield, Community Shield, whatever it is. But then you won the conference, Europa Conference, but that's not where Chelsea want to be. That's not where Chelsea are. Chelsea are not back because they won those, right? You want to be fighting at the top, and you should be. You're failing as a club, regardless of those trophies that you put on the table. You're failing as a club, and it doesn't look like it's going to get any better anytime soon because you'll go and do it again. You'll go and hoard another set of players. Like
Pete, they've already done it.
Garnacho in 18 months will be playing somewhere in Italy, and you'd have sold him for about 35 million. Like that's the reality of Garnacho's future. Gittins will probably end up back on loan at Dortmund. That's the reality of some of these players. These players are not going to make it.
But also,
can you explain this, please?
You can already see it. Delap will end up being on loan at Crystal Palace when they sell Jean-Philippe Mateta. When he ends up leaving Palace, he'll end up at loan at Palace, right, rather than Chelsea. And then you'll go and hoard another 3 set of strikers, right? And you'll just do rinse and repeat all over again because that is Chelsea. That is Chelsea.
Pete, they've already done it, Pete. Pete, you're so bang on. Potts, can you just bring up my screen and Charlie can explain this to us?
I was looking at the wrong thing. There we go.
Can you explain this to us? Because what Pete's saying is exactly right. This is the rivals that Chelsea are getting next summer. They've already spent 51 million euros on this right winger. They've already bought this left back, Denner, from Corinthians for 10 million euros. And this dude from Karate FC.
Yeah, but most of these guys aren't going to play for us.
I don't care. You've spent
But
63 million euros on, and you just said they're not going to play for you. For 63 million euros, you could buy a decent striker.
You could have bought a decent. I don't want to hear none of your fan base, yeah, talking about wage structure this, wage structure that. Yeah, when you're spending 100 million quid on Garnacho and Kittens and spending another 60 on 3 players who no one's fucking ever heard
Anyone
of.
heard of those
It's
guys?
well
Like,
annoying,
seriously.
We'll only hear of them because we'll see it again. We'll see it below the yellow ticker on Sky Sports News saying that they've gone to Strasbourg on loan. That's the only way we're going to hear about them.
No, please. One of them is on loan at Strasbourg. This freaking Dennis brother, I think it was.
Oh, we're not allowed to spend money because of the wage structure. You spent 2 billion quid in about 5 years, mate. What are you going on about?
So you just spent 65 million euros for next year on shitters that no one's ever heard of.
No,
so what do you think's going to change?
Quender's all right.
Oh, he's all right, is he? He's all right.
One of my
for 50 mil.
51 million. He better be better than all right, Charlie.
Iniesta in the chat, one of our boys, right? From Loaded, it just put Omega will play. You've got more chance of Kenny Omega playing for Chelsea being successful than that Omega at Strasbourg. You've got no chance. You've got no chance. He'll be rinse and repeat. He'll get sold out to Italy or somewhere else for like 20, 30 million and be done with it. That's this reality. This is Chelsea. This is
Chelsea. A right winger. It's a right winger.
Yeah.
You've got a fucking right winger. You say he's better than Yamal. So why have you spent 60
that Denner guy's the left back?
No, that Denner guy won't play for us.
Well, why have you spent 50, 60 million quid on Quendo when you've got Esteval and you're literally dying out for a centre back?
You need to go and get Mark Guehi, mate. You should go all out for Mark Guehi.
I said it all summer that we should have signed Mark Guehi. It should have been one of the first players we signed, and we didn't bother. The manager wanted to send back.
That is the most brain dead move that Chelsea have ever done, by the way. And that goes back to when we were after Mark Guehi. You got 20% on him. You could actually get him for a cheaper fee than anybody else, right? And you still don't bother to go and get him. It's the most brain dead move ever.
I'm not sure that he actually wanted to come back. I'd be surprised.
That's even worse. That's even worse. He doesn't want to move to Chelsea.
Charlie, are you still winning a trophy, Charlie?
Yeah, I think we'll still win a trophy, but we're not going to win. We're not challenging for the Premier League. No.
You see that? No one even asked him if he's challenging for the Premier League. He's just so ingrained into saying it, man.
Yeah, because you constantly want me to say it.
I didn't ask you.
No, this is the first week in weeks you've not asked me, which is quite enjoyable.
Yeah, no, but I do have a question to ask you. Do you still want us to?
We got a wrap. Go on.
What?
Do you still want us to respect your club?
Yeah, in a big game.
After we've just shown you, you've already spent 65 million euros on no-namers. You want us to respect your club.
You can respect me in the big games. Outside of that, we're working on the respect.
All right, I hear
it. Look, I mean, to be fair, Nini was right when she said that Burnley was more scary than Arsenal, and Leeds was more scary than Barcelona, or whatever it was.
No, we've got a big game on Saturday, by the way, against Everton. Massive game.
Are you scared?
Is a huge game. I mean, they might go ahead of you, isn't it? If they win,
mate, I'm picturing it now. I can see Dewsbury Hall smashing one top bins at the bridge. It'll be nightmare.
Another player hoarded. It's true. He was another player hoarded.
I don't know why I signed him.
Was swooped up by Chelsea, did absolutely naff all, and now he's at Everton and is actually playing well again.
Where's Nkunku?
The only downfall in his career was playing for Chelsea.
Well, he left as a world champion.
He got rid of Kieran Dewsbury Hall and signed that Bonanate guy or whatever it was. It's just
he's a dry loan. He's a dry loan. I don't understand that one.
It's just
weird, another Brighton player, by the way. Another Brighton.
Yeah, another Brighton. It's just weird, man. Look, I've got 2 questions before we wrap because it's been a long one tonight, and the people do need to go and sleep. Manchester United have won, by the way, and they're up to 6th in the table under Amorim. How the hell have they done that?
Do we think that Wolves man? Do we think Wolves could be on course to beat Derby?
No.
Sorry, Wolfie, but they're going to.
They are one of the worst. They are so bad.
They are horrifically bad, mate. And tonight, them goals. Oh my god!
Could we let every team that plays against them give them a 2-goal lead off the bat? Just please.
I don't know. I don't actually think that Derby one will ever be beaten. But if there's a team to do it, it will be this season.
Wolves are hot. But bro, do you know about it? They got 2 points from 15 games.
That
They're
is
already 8
embarrassing.
points
You
adrift.
know what's better?
They're already 8 points adrift from 19th.
Yeah, but what's even
Yeah, bro,
funnier
they're gone,
than
they're
that?
gone.
How about this? 50% of their points have come from Spurs. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That is funny as well. And then Paulinho ripped his shirt off when he equalised.
yeah. The last, well, it's a big, yeah, it's a big equaliser. That.
A huge goal that was.
I don't know.
Look, I wanted to ask Pete and Wolfie a question quick before we do close. Really quickly. Pete, you're creeping up there. It's weird because Newcastle seems to be on a good run, but they're still like not moving up the table, it seems, for whatever reason. But in the next couple of games, I expect Newcastle to keep it going. Where is your kind of head at in terms of what you're trying to get this season? Because I'm looking at the table thinking anybody can get this top 3, top 4, man. Is that where you're at, bruv?
Yeah, it's open. I was like, kind of, I was done a few weeks ago. I was like, we're finished. We ain't getting.
Yeah,
Champions
LB did say, man, don't tap out.
Yeah, you did, and maybe you were right because we've got 10 points in the last possible 12. Obviously, a last minute equaliser against Spurs, or our own doing really, but even then, we're still on good form. We've got to win this derby on Sunday, man. We're gonna fucking win this.
Where's it at? At Sunderland.
It's at the Stadium of Shite, man. It's at the Stadium of Shite.
That's massive, by the way. That's a massive
mate,
game.
I cannot wait.
Can you go ahead of them, Pete?
Yeah, we go ahead of them with a win.
Ooh.
I think you beat them, right? I lie.
Everything's on it. Well, look, everything's on it. I expect us to go there and take the game to them. You know what derbies are like. You know from the North London derby, etc., etc. Anything's possible.
They definitely saved some in the tank, by the way, Pete. I think when they played us at the weekend.
Yeah, I watched the game back on Game of the Day, and you look like they were playing at 50%.
They just didn't look like they put in 100. They just sat there in a low block for 90 minutes and just defended. They didn't really use any sort of like energy to sort of like do much. We just controlled the game, and it just seemed like it was weird because I watched Sunderland a few times. I was like, this is fucking weird. And then someone in the chat was like, LB, they got Newcastle next week. I was like, pretty mad. Like, maybe they were saving
the amount of energy they put in.
Quickly, I think they had 2 players on yellows that if they would have got a yellow, they would be suspended for the new Xhaka and that. Is he called Indiki or something?
I mean, they're sent off.
They got Luca 9. He got sent off.
I don't know if you've seen it.
Did they sub those 2 players off? They both got dragged, didn't they?
Well, at 3-0, they both got hooked. Yeah.
But this is the thing, like. I'm not looking at the City game and giving like any sort of opinion on it because Sunderland will come out the traps. They'll be bang up for it. We'll be bang up for it as well. Obviously, we've got a big game on Wednesday in Leverkusen in the build-up to that. So the team that we put out will be very interesting in the build-up to that game. Like for me, forget Leverkusen to the side. I need to win that derby, man. We win that derby.
I agree.
I think we got. Do we have Chelsea next at home? St James's Park after that.
Yeah, but you can't though, Pete, because you can still qualify top 8 champions.
I know, man. I know, but
this is the derby, man.
You can't throw it.
Is it Leverkusen?
I'm not saying throwing it. Like my focus is purely on the derby. Like obviously, I don't want us to throw it. You're right. We're still in a chance to qualify. We're still actually in a chance. If we go and beat Leverkusen, we could qualify automatically. Because then we've got PSV.
Bro, if you do that, they won't believe the luck because we fucking threw it against Leverkusen when we played them 2 weeks ago. Because Pep's and then if you go there and check, they'll be like, "What the hell is going on here, bro?" 2 games against 2 English clubs, and both teams have basically thrown the game.
Would you?
I don't think we will, though.
Would you rest?
I don't think we will though because we rested a lot of players against Burnley. So like we had like Ramsey and Willock alongside Bruno.
Leverkusen weren't that great as well, Pete. When we played them, with a rotated team. And they weren't that great.
And they got
beat us, but they weren't great.
At the weekend as well. They got tucked at the weekend.
Yeah, they're not that good, man.
LB, is that young lad that you sent on loan? Is he playing at Emery, whatever he's called? Has he been playing?
I don't play, bro. I don't even get a game.
What's
happening?
You need to call him back, bro.
He should have gone there, man. He should have gone Girona. City wanted to send him to Girona because basically they guaranteed to play. But apparently his agent,
Messi, wasn't it? Messi.
Yeah, Messi, mate. But apparently his agent apparently said,
LB,
come Leverkusen.
Was he not a Ten Hag signing though? Because Ten Hag only lasted.
Yeah, Ten Hag, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the 2 games.
The thing is with him, the mistake that he made, is that he Nah, he'd not played football since February, bro. So he should have gone somewhere where he could play. And he went to fucking Leverkusen. He's not
Going to
playing.
recall him in January, LB.
Yeah, recalling him. He's going back to River Plate apparently on loan.
Oh, shit.
Ten Hag lasted 2 games and all these balloons started appearing.
Yeah.
I wanted to close with Wolfie. Obviously, I don't think you're going down. I genuinely don't. But I wanted to ask you: are you still winning this Europa League, mate?
Yeah, as long as someone else knocks out Villa, because we can't.
Right. So the stipulation.
Yeah, all of a sudden, there's an if.
Yeah.
I think
One if.
Villa win it. I think Villa win it.
He's
I
wobbled.
think Villa win the Europa League.
Villa
Do
will
you get
win
another
the league
star,
and then
Wolfie, or not?
Villa
if
will
you
win the league
Europa
and throw the Europa.
That's a
right.
good
No,
question.
I'm telling you, win that league.
No star.
Do you get a third star, Wolfie?
Next year, mate. Next year,
Oh, so you don't get one if you win the Europa League?
mate. I know you've only got one. I don't need to explain it to you. I might need to explain.
I'm
it
just
to
wondering.
Pops,
I'm just
but-
wondering if
Yeah.
you lower your
Maybe
standards.
does it get a silver star next to the 2 gold ones or something?
No,
Is that
no,
how it works?
no,
I
no.
don't know.
There's-
What about
I-
half?
no
Well,
one
you can have 2.5 stars.
2.5. What star did we
Hey,
get?
hey,
Charlie?
have we all
try
have we all
Lawless,
just glazed
man.
over
Lawless
the
wanted
fact
the
that he's going to
crescent
say
above
the
their
third
badge
star's
when they
coming
won it,
next
man.
year?
Huh?
Have we all just glazed over the fact that Wolfie's just said that?
Nah,
the
we
third
just
star's
ignored
coming
it.
next
No,
year?
he
There's
says
no
dumb
fact,
shit
that's
all
not
the
my
time,
first time
he's got
playing
this.
Nah,
it.
we've just ignored it, bro. We've zoned out from that bullshit, Bill.
Just
Mate,
making sure.
you know what? We were so shit against Everton, but it
That
was
was
crazy.
the Sean Dyche derby.
Bro, fuck, that guy is doing my head in. But what's crazy is our form is better than Arsenal's. It's better than Chelsea's. It's better than Man U's. Everyone's talking about Newcastle's form, how it's picked up. We've only picked up 1 less point than them in the last 5 games. But we are playing shit football.
That's why I don't
man.
think you're going down, because Sean Dyche just knows how to keep teams up.
It's
Yeah,
But-
he does.
terrific.
And the
I
players
don't
suit
have
him.
you
Dan.
going down.
I've said from day one. I think the players suit him to a T. Really do.
Bro,
Have you
did you
seen
watch
this
the
game?
Everton game, man? It was.
Yeah,
I
but
stopped.
he's not going to win every single game. He's going to have some stinkers. He's not Pep, is he? But like, he's a good manager, and I think the players suit him. Yeah, but obviously next summer when we get Elliot Anderson and that, it's going to be peak for you.
Why are you all trying to run this Elliot Anderson narrative?
Bro, he's leaving next summer. Enjoy him whilst you
Coming to
can.
City, mate.
Okay, you told me like 2 years ago you were getting Murillo, Charlie. You got Murillo, yeah?
No,
Okay.
but he'll be leaving this
Yeah.
summer as well.
And they've got
So
Tosin,
should I still
Wolfie.
be
They don't
enjoying
need
it?
Murillo.
Bro, they're
Huh?
both gone this summer, so just enjoy them.
I thought they'd gone 2 summers ago, Charlie.
No, I don't
Where was
know.
the big bad chat? Was he too old for you or something? He was 20 at the time. That's probably a little too old for you. Like
Yeah,
to
it might
sign.
be too old now. To
Yeah.
be fair.
Exactly.
What's his
Yeah,
contract like, Wolfie? Elliot
No, he
Anderson?
signed a new one. He signed a new one.
He hasn't
Yeah,
signed a
right.
new one. Why are you spreading fake news?
No, he did, bro. He signed a new one a while back. Like he's under
Yeah,
contract. for, like,
that was
20 months.
called the signing. Like,
No,
he's
no,
only
no,
been
bro.
at Forest
No,
a
Murillo
year and
signed- no,
4
we're talking about
months, bro.
Murillo.
So he hasn't signed a new contract then.
No, he hasn't signed a new
Murillo
contract.
So he's, so he's only got a
Oh,
couple of years left.
Murillo. No, Murillo did. I thought you were talking about Elliot Anderson.
No, I was talking about Murillo.
Oh yeah, it was on back.
No,
Yeah,
Anderson
yeah,
knows
yeah,
man,
yeah,
shit. He
yeah.
knows he's coming to City in the summer, man. You know what I mean? On that £50 million.
Oh, he's going to
know what I
City.
mean?
Is
Like,
he?
Wolfie
All
was
right,
saying.
LB, before we start getting tagged again on Twitter like crazy and Ben Jacobs starts messaging me saying, what the fuck's going on, right? I did not say 50 million. I said,
No,
he
you said it was something like
closer to 50 than 100 is what I said.
right.
Right.
That's not 50, is it?
And then
That
I
could be
said 60.
74.
And I said 60 million at that point.
Anyway,
You
that's a
said
steal.
I didn't
He's a
say it,
baller,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
said.
big up Elliot
Yeah.
Anderson, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, top player.
Have you guys seen on Anfield Index have just tweeted out and said an exclusive that Liverpool have held initial talks with Cesc Fabregas about becoming the replacement for
Bro,
Arsenal.
Anfield
That's a
Index
good
actually.
signing. That's
I don't know how credible it is. It just popped up and I was like,
Anfield
oh,
Index actually legit.
I don't know.
well,
But
they've
can I
got
give Potts some good news?
142,000 followers.
Need some good news.
Yeah, you're gonna love this. So I got so many thank you cards from the Arsenal fans at the start of the season saying thank you
Right.
so much, thank you so much, thank you so much. We never have to see him again.
What are we saying?
And I warned them that Forest have a track record of sending loanees back before their loan periods end. And I just getting whispers as Zinchenko.
Oh, God.
Say hi
I don't
to
want
him
him back.
again.
Yeah,
They were
fuck
like,
that guy.
his contract's up at the end of the season. We never have to see him again. I'm just saying, careful when that transfer window
I
opens again.
guess he's been as shambolic as he was for us then, yeah.
He was-
Has he been playing?
No, thank God. He's been injured. You know what? I don't like it when players get injured. I didn't mind with Zinchenko. He is that shit, man. So he's been out for the last 6-7 weeks.
Maybe you should have realised, didn't it? Another player that left Manchester City thinking they were mega and turned out to be dog shit. Yeah.
God,
so
bro, he's so. I don't think I've seen a worse.
these players don't respect the manager, man. You know what I mean? These players leave City, don't respect
Do you know this guy wrote a book? This guy wrote a book at 28.
Who the hell is buying that book, man?
Bro, this guy said Thomas Partey's better than Rodri, man. That tells me all I need to know.
Bro, he's a midfielder, though, isn't he? Really, Zinchenko.
He plays 10, doesn't he, for Ukraine?
That's when we bought him. Yeah, we bought him as a 10. And
He is a midfielder. He's really like an 8. He's not a left back. He can't defend. He's shocking.
He's just so arrogant, man. He's such an arrogant person, man.
Like, he's really annoying. Like,
wasn't he all right for City though? He was okay.
Yeah, bro. I had no problem with the guy. Yeah, I had no problem. He was a good player for us. He was important. He's got the assist against Villa on the last day of the season when we won the league. Like, good player, honest player. Yeah, but then like, obviously he left, right? Because he thought, he wasn't going to be a starter at City. He was going to be rotation, and he thought he was better than that. Cool. And he started saying weird things, bro. And he started saying like, "Oh, Thomas Partey's better than Rodri and that," and just being proper weird. I'm like, he's weird.
How much did you sell him for, are we?
30-odd mil. We absolutely rinsed him.
In hell, man.
Yeah, it was about 29 mil or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah,
really.
we rinsed him.
He was. Do you know what? He was. I can't lie. He was pivotal to us in that first season where everyone thought we were going to win the league. That's all he's done. Literally, that's all he's done. He's done nothing else. I've never liked him defensively. He goes on walkabouts. He's out of position all the time. He gets caught out, and he can't make it in a Forest side.
Exactly
Who's even playing ahead of him, Wolfie? Like, he's nowhere near the
Nico
level.
Williams, man. Nico Williams, but way better.
Yeah, he's an underrated player, by the way.
He is so good. Yeah.
Yeah,
but can I ask LB one question? I haven't had a chance to check out. How's your stomach?
My stomach?
Yeah.
My stomach's fine.
Yeah, cool. Just checking.
I'm fucking chilling.
After Friday, I think.
I think after Friday, LB was disappearing quite a lot, it seemed. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I had the shit. I can't lie. Nah, I was just dehydrated, man. I can't lie. No, I was fine the day after. I started slamming loads. I got a 6-pack of books and water. I got my electrolytes and I was just slamming the electrolytes, man. But yeah, I was fucking rough, bro.
We were worried about you. I can't lie.
Bro, I was worried about me.
LB's gone again.
Right. So I went to Ukraine watching City a few years ago, yeah. And we went in this 20-foot. We landed at like 2 a.m. in the morning. And we went in this 20, and we didn't book the hotel for that night because we thought, what's the point in it? So we went in this 24-hour bar, yeah. And we bought, it was just me and my mate, yeah. We bought a bottle of vodka, right, with these fake Red Bulls. Yeah, anyway, we're sitting there for like 6-7 hours in this bar, yeah. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning, yeah. We've done a full bottle of vodka. We've done like about 10 little cans of these Red Bulls, yeah. Bro, yeah. Sorry if you're eating, yeah, but I went to the toilet. I sat on the toilet, yeah, for like an hour. And my ass was so fucking sore. It was like it was on fire. Yeah, so don't have 10 Red Bulls in one night, man. Yeah, it ain't good for you. I got my phone. Yeah, I messaged him. I was like, bro, I don't know, yeah, but I think I might be like dying, like on the toilet, Elvis style. Bro, what I was gonna do at Elvis, man. I thought I was gonna do at Elvis. I was literally like, I was myself.
Man, do you know what? I can't actually stand Red Bull. I actually can't. I can't take Red Bull. But yeah, that's not that bad. It's okay. That's enough to put me off Red Bull for life. That is story, Jesus.
That was a quality night, though. That was
the drink. The Red Bull was called Burn. Yeah.
Well, no wonder you're fucking off.
No wonder your arse was on fire then.
Yeah. Honestly,
I actually think, Billy, it wasn't the shouting from Buendia. I think it was a shouting at shuffleboard. That's why your voice is the way it is.
All of it. None of it helped. None of it helped.
Lawless, man. He shouted at shuffleboard.
That shuffleboard was class. It's well better with the electric, so you don't have to do anything yourself. Like it's there, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's also all above board when it's electronic, isn't it? You can't cheat.
No, you were cheating.
I thought the one where you had to get the two things close to each other was the best one.
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah. So did Lawless.
That was class, man. The way you threw that in his face was the funniest thing, man. That was the best throw ever as well. The way that went, it's just perfect, Wolfie. Absolutely perfect. His reaction to it is just like confusion, then anger, then hatred. It's just class. But anyway,
sorry.
It was good fun. It was great fun. Good night out and great Christmas drinks. We'll look forward to the one in the summer. Big up to everyone that's been here. We're going to send you over to Gooners Therapy now, where Positive and Negative Dan are arguing about Arsenal. We got Charlie, Blue Brother. We got AV Billy on YouTube. We got Forest Fan TV, Loaded Mag UFC, and It's LB. Big up to Deji as well, as always. And of course, Errol. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, people. We're out of here. Laters.